Boom. 7:15 hockey, let's go. That's what I like to see. I don't know where it came from. You're playing chess?
No,
your
my son
kids
does.
got you.
Yeah, my daughter has hockey, but
obviously, yeah. No, I knew that. 7:15. What am I doing at 7:15? I'm getting home from physio at 7:15.
nice.
We're doing landmine. Actually, what do they? What's that thing called where you take the barbell and it's like that one? That's one of my new exercises. Anyways. It's whatever that thing is called. I'm doing that, so we're getting some presses in and whatever. It's all good. What's crazy about it? It's not crazy to me that Alibaba's up. Oh, that just spoiled it. No, I was gonna say it's not crazy to me that Alibaba's at the high. It's not crazy to me that Apple went green. What's crazy to me is Intel is up 1%, so it's rallying. Intel was having a rough morning, but it's not so much that. Like Mobileye went green, and I didn't even.
Right.
Like, wasn't Mobileye the literal worst? No, UPS was the second worst name percentage-wise this morning after earnings. And Mobileye went stair-step up. Now, it could lose the bid here.
Well,
so that's definitely worth watching. But, yeah, Mobileye with a big move. I have a sneaky suspicion Intel is going to be pretty wild here. Going into the close. Somebody's buying this one up. I'm tracking this little, it's going into the high. There's your trend. Yesterday's high, any reversion off yesterday's high, I'm going to be involved in. Just into AVGO as I try to hold a sneeze, so I'll throw to Sean.
Yeah, I was just looking here at Intel. Intel trying to break through $20. Join us tonight for the recap show. We don't have, too many crazy names. We're going to figure out when Apple's coming through. We're hoping around that 4:30 marker. So that's Apple and Intel tonight. So we'll be looking at some of those trades right now. There's United States Steel. Sharif was just mentioning a little bit about that one. Visa and Deckers. On board there tonight. Looks like I have to update my Chrome. Well, that's nice to see. All right, the only trade that we have on right now, and again, let's just see where it wants to go. What I'm thinking here with the futures, again, I know it's kind of in the middle, like on this day. Whoa, we just went all the way up to 80. Oh, we didn't get anything out there. Okay, we're waiting up here at 83.10. All right, so above VWAP, above the 50-period moving average, and we got the 200-period moving average right down here on the 1-minute chart. So I feel like we held this. We've been holding through VWAP. It's a small position now. We do want to average it in. My next bid's going to be around 82.50, halfway, and then we'll try one more time down there. And then if we lose that wicked bottom, which is right here, 82.20 or so, then we're going to get out of there. So it's a starter position right now. We have about, maybe 15% of what we're trying to get. We'll average some more back in here around the 200-period moving average. I actually have one at 82.50, then 82.30, and then we'll watch out for that one to drop down through. I just want to see what happens. I mean, Tesla's had a pretty epic move back. We'll talk about that trade. We got out at 404. So from the bottom here, that's $18 right there to that level. We were able to get out. Tesla does not break through the high of the day. I was holding the hope out for that. The best trade it got to is about 408. We wound up taking 404 on a 50-period moving average break right there. That looks like that could have been the short. So anyways, market trying to get back up now. Tesla was red, now up 3.5%. We like that one. Meta, I mean, a lot of moves happened throughout the day, obviously. And then I look at this right now. This is making me think maybe the other way with this long. Like if we lose this right here at Meta, that's 606. That's not looking great because that's essentially what we were doing in the pre-market right here. We lose that, it didn't last long for $10 there.
What a weird market.
Yeah, 685, 686.
Meta's great, they sell it. Yeah. Tesla's bad, they buy it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they did buy Tesla eventually. I mean, I don't know. I think all these things might be... Hold on, let's just check out one more here. Let's check out Microsoft.
That is banking.
Maybe Microsoft's... Oh, no, okay, this is where we actually liked it at 415. But you can see what's happening right now? I'm just wondering, it's just a lot of barcoding here in the last 2 hours. Microsoft is at the same price that we were at 1120. It's, 220. So, yeah. I'd still looking for bottom break. So I wouldn't really do anything in any of these names until eventually we break the bottom. I am, or the top, which we're not close to. I'm just going to watch the futures here for a little bit. I do have a play maybe coming on Uber, maybe a short into a retracement into that one. IBIT, Bitcoin still 105.5.
2 super chats and a lot of people talking about NVIDIA.
I must not be in the right thing.
I only have the chat up. Google. So the thing is, when you keep the stream up all day long, I keep the chat up, but I never have the stream up all day long. That's helping the PC there. Mr. C, thank you for the super chat. And Mr. C, again, also wants us to look at SoFi, long or short on Intel. Thanks, guys. Shout out to you. And then everyone's saying news on NVIDIA. Not that I see. We see the spike. It just broke 120, got to 120, almost 121. But I don't actually see any or heard any news on NVIDIA. There it is, sort of picking up on Steam.
It's a nice spike.
It's a good spike, but there's no news in the middle of the day here. It could just be consolidation and a bit of a break. Looks like it wants to go. I actually prefer, I'm taking a crack at AVGO, and I like AMD as well to the long side. I think you can play, there's two ways to play the trend on Intel. When a trend is this long, and it's also at previous day high, I think it could blast if it breaks through the high, but if it doesn't break the high, I want to play the mean revert. To me, I'm like, if it doesn't break that high, just the simple close under, short it when it breaks the trend, and then work from there. But if it takes out that high and starts going, that's a separate story over there on Intel. And then I was sort of saying, oh, maybe AMD isn't as good. Well, a second ago, AMD was looking really good, holding higher lows, thinking it was going to break out the 119. But on that last push up on NVIDIA, AMD pulled back into VWAP. So I guess no breakout at 119 yet on AMD, which is another stock that did the round trip. Up a couple of points, to down a couple of points, or to red, back into green, 1%. So yeah, it's been one of those like V-shaped kind of days on a lot of stocks. Let's see which one you guys want to talk about first.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are ready to look at the tickers as decided by you, but join Joe and I during the How to Trade show during the midday, because that's the only way you can vote for these tickers. Get into the chat and vote in every poll. We've got 2, 1 at 11, 1 at 1, but you got to be a subscriber in order to vote, so make sure you are liking, subscribing, and sharing. Let's look at the triple Qs over here. The NQ up 1/3%, the ES, the S&P up 0.5%, and the Dow also up 0.5%, but outperforming them all is the Russell 2000 up 1.5% today. Wouldn't be surprised there because small caps were good during the midday. Makes sense there. Let's have a look, though, at the first ticker, though, as decided by you. I don't know where my NVIDIA headline went, but NVIDIA is looking at getting some export restrictions vis-a-vis Donald Trump for their H20 GPU, which was previously allowed to be exported to China, sold off yesterday. Made another low today, guys, $120. Bouncing now, though, as you said, down 2 2/3.
Instead of the WWW.
Wow.
Yeah, so NVIDIA, I know it's EEK, but it's breaking VWAP right now, and it looks like it's trying to continue this move. So obviously down on the day, trending down, now holding higher lows and rounding it off. Zoom out to the 15.
121.
It's actually, look, you've still got the support down here after the dump at 16. So what are we calling it? The I don't know, the AI bubble bottom, or I don't know, whatever you guys want to give the name to it. The deep seek low, like I don't know, whatever we're calling this, that double bottom is intact. So I think the deep seek low, you're still buying off of that level here on NVIDIA, and now you're putting in higher highs, higher high now, although I might have jinxed it, and then some higher lows on NVIDIA. Looks like we're taking it through VWAP. See, I liked AMD, but now the velocity seems like it's in NVIDIA right now. So
I'm
yeah,
going long.
Yeah, it's just I was going to take AMD, but no, this one's more accelerating than NVIDIA. I'm gonna flip. I might maybe just take them both, but that doesn't make any sense. I'm already long Broadcom. But yeah, volume is coming into NVIDIA. I want to be long in front of VWAP to 120.25, and I think you can go long off this deep seek bottom as long as. Well, I mean, one day it could always break. But until that happens, clearly you've got buyers eventually every single day on NVIDIA. And that's sort of the thing. Even when it's dropped, it's done these really nice, like when it breaks the trend, you get these really good afternoon moves on NVIDIA.
All right, so I'm going to take out here 10 handles on the Qs. We'll take that out right now. Some of this out at 97 as we start to go a little bit upside right there. And I just want to say that I am ready to go. That was IBIT. Hold on. NVIDIA. I just put the order in to break 121. Look, that's the level right there. It's been good. It should break it. We're above VWAP. It held the 200 period. didn't really do too much around the 50, but held view up, and it didn't hold view up that great. There's only 5 minutes of a hold there. You did dip down a little bit below it, but yeah, I like to see this take off. The market's up today, Nvidia's still down. I mean, if anything has the juice to do it, it's going to be Nvidia. So we're going to hit it with some shares, man. We'll basically put on like our full risk right now, not our full risk, but a very comfortable position here on Nvidia. So right there, we're long at 02, a pretty good fill there. Let's go Nvidia and see where we go now to the upside. So long 121.02. You know, back to VWAP might be a play. I don't know. It wasn't that great before. I was looking at maybe this 120 breakdown. If we lost 120, then we could get out, and it would be bad if that happened. That's 120.20. I think like that would be probably a decent spot for us to start to hit the panic button. So we're in this for a couple cents here. Let's see if it wants to work out. Nvidia long until we break that low. I don't even want to mess around too much with it. Maybe we're able to reload it again at VWAP there, but you know, I like the trade there. It's breaking a little bit of momentum upside. Let's see if we can go. We'll scalp something out. Okay, let's just see if, now that we're talking about it, because this is a live trade, right? I mean, we can recap all we want, but right now we're just going live. Just real quick, that first little area, yeah, that's still in the 20s. I mean, I'd like to get a little bit higher, 30s, 40s, 50s. That top right there, okay, that's 122, so we're not going to worry about it. All right, so first, I was going to say first area maybe in the 20s, but here we go again, man. It's going to be Nvidia. Let's take out something in and around this level here. There we go. There we go. We'll get a 20. We'll get a 19 there actually, and take a little bit out as Nvidia now starting to rip here, Neil. So that was a good call, but who knows? It only went 20 cents. Yeah. We're able to get out of that 10% there, but we are looking for a little bit more for sure on this trade.
Before we go up, there's a few. The Dell's moving a lot in this move to the upside here. Broadcom, like it seems like it's like everything is going. Intel just broke the high of the day. Dell just got to the high of the day. Let me just double check. It might have just broken it a second ago.
Go futures.
Yeah, Dell is pretty much at the high. Oh, it just did that thing. Broadcom just came back and tagged 216.50. So we're getting a bit of a rounded bottom here as a lot of these names are starting to take it out to the upside. I didn't double check on what happened with AMD, but good shout out in the chat for those that watch Dell go. So they're all starting to run. And AVGO, boom. We like the letters today.
Yeah, AVGO is huge.
Yeah, big move up for AVGO, guys, in the aftermarket yesterday. It made another high today. It's kind of pulled back a little bit since that time, reclaiming that $1 trillion market cap midday. Here's why it's moving up. Meta announced plans yesterday during the earnings call to increase the deployment of its custom-made Meta Training and Inference Accelerator, MTIA chips, which are going to be designed and possibly made by Broadcom, guys. So up 5%. Good look for AVGO.
We'll start. Neil's in it now. I'll talk about what it was early. Broadcom was the #1 trade today. It's my P&L number. Well, Tesla and Broadcom are right there as P&L number 1 and 2. We actually made more money on Broadcom today than Tesla, to be honest with you. UPS, Tesla, and Broadcom are all right there. So we really like that long to begin with, and we were able to hit it. By the way, the TQQs, let's go. Nice little win there as we print that to the high side right now. And the future's starting to go 25 handles now in the money on the futures. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher on this one there, waiting for 83.30s to get some more out on that. And then there goes, let's go Nvidia, man. Oh boy, Neil, we haven't even traded Nvidia yet today, and we just put on pretty good risk piece there for that. All right, Broadcom. Look, deal with Meta. They're a collab. It was huge. Like we didn't take, and again, it's a little different when you take the breakout first thing as opposed to the breakout in Nvidia right now. But we don't put on, I put on probably about a third of the position, maybe a little bit less than that. It breaks. We did not panic. Let me zoom this back out a little bit here so we can just see the exact frame of reference here. We do not panic because we don't have that many shares. Comes back in. Even as this was happening, we're like, we'll buy the VWAP. That didn't even really work. Then it came right back in and we supported that low. As soon as we saw the bounce right there, we actually were able to get it back, right? Comes back up to the upside right here, falls back in again. And that's where we said, okay, let's support this against that bottom. And then it just, I mean, that was it. That was $4 or $5 all the way to the upside. We actually got a reload down there, which was amazing. Able to get that back to the outside. Then we dumped out. We did this live. We got out when it broke the 200 period. Then it came back up, and we thought we were pretty cool by getting that. We don't have any other trades on this one today. Broadcom, P&L #1 there today. But you know who's challenging it as we speak? It's NVIDIA right now, as there goes NVIDIA. This is challenging Broadcom. So despite us taking $4 or $5 on Broadcom, we actually hit NVIDIA with some shares right here. We're getting some more out at 30. NVIDIA going to the moon as the week just keeps on. Like I said, I think this has been, for me, the best week ever in my history of trading here. So let's see if we can continue to do that.
And Broadcom's going right. Sorry, I just had a sip of tea. Broadcom's going right now. I'm looking at VWAP. It was a simple mean reversion trade, kind of like what we've usually been doing, but very different in terms of what Broadcom did in the afternoon, like from noon till now. Long downtrend, broke the low of the day, and then we essentially just waited for it to break. Consolidation, it took out the prior. I mean, at this point, like the setup is a setup. Broke the consolidation. There's your break of the prior high, scalp to the first range. It then reloaded off of our stop, and I think we're headed into VWAP here for Broadcom. Obviously, this is also, oh yeah, we're not split adjusted on that. Obviously, this is also a nice bounce off the 50-period moving average for Broadcom. So I think there's continuation in Broadcom. Whether or not it revisits those highs, that remains to be seen. But take the stairs up. You get a VWAP bounce. You get a great catalyst from Meta and their spend. And let's just see where Broadcom can go from here. 5% to the upside on a day where there's a bunch of earnings names that you thought were going to take the cake. Broadcom decided to go boom, apparently.
Trying to get creative, guys. All right, Microsoft shares trading really low right now, 6% and change after reporting earnings yesterday. It was a bit of a tough outlook for them. The guide was light, especially with the slowing of the growth of their Azure platform. There, Morgan Stanley maintaining overweight on Microsoft, but lowering the price target to 530. Guys, I don't know how you feel about this, but we're looking very flat bottom breakish.
Microsoft doesn't look good.
No, I haven't reviewed. I'm not.
It doesn't look good at all.
I have a lot in the market here right now. So we'll pass it over to Neil and we'll talk about some Microsoft.
Microsoft doesn't look good. We didn't short it today. Wasn't really looking at Microsoft for the short. Preferred UPS. UPS is down, but actually UPS made a pretty good bounce. And I know we're not going to talk about it there, but yeah, I was concerned about Microsoft more than any other Mag 7. Here, the good news, you got the 410 bottom, and there's been buyers this entire way on some higher lows. But at some point, if you lose this support, I think you're in a world of hurt. Well, I shouldn't say a world of hurt. It probably won't be that bad. But yeah, everything else seems to want to at least try to go, except for them. And Softy, if it just can hold this level long enough, I think it could be okay. Give it a couple of days, and we'll see if it rebounds. I don't think I want to trade it this afternoon. A little bit too close to the bottom and not enough action as it barcodes to want to do much with it. Unless maybe you could break out this top. I think you stay away from Microsoft for a day or two and then go from there.
Yeah, Microsoft gives me the least amount of. So NVIDIA's doing good. We're gonna hold out now that we've scalped some more out. I'm gonna cancel that 36. I'm gonna wait for a 46 now. On NVIDIA's. It's kind of doing what we thought it might do. We're getting into a little bit more of a comfortable position. We're out of just 20% of it. So let's see if it works for us now. Okay, so that's going to be NVIDIA. All right, Microsoft. Yeah, I agree with Neil. We looked at it earlier and said 415 as a possible zone there. And that's exactly what it fell into. Like, it wasn't rocket science. We had talked about 415 earlier. That's where it's bouncing. I mean, if you rewind this tape to 830, you can't do that stream, but the other stream, you'll see that we talked that this might be an area where you'd look to buy because we were just moments away. Like, if it kind of went the other way there, which it didn't, you weren't too far away from its highs. It's not like it's a completely broken or anything. It's just, it's faded back in there. For me, it's just a weird thing because, like, I can't really wrap my head around Microsoft too much here. Like we can understand Meta and Tesla and what they've been doing, other than Azure and we'll just, I mean, the report is out. We can all read it. I'm not super excited about it, and obviously the market isn't either. So for right now, we're just going to have to rest on Microsoft and see if that CapEx just keeps on going, and if they can actually monetize a little bit better on some of their relationships there with OpenAI and ChatGPT, because they had lost a couple $2 billion there with OpenAI. So far, I mean, obviously it's affected their market cap huge, so no one's lost anything. But at the end of the day, it's still not really able to monetize. It'd be interesting to see when and where that happens. So for me, Microsoft, I think that's perfect. It's like a wait and see story.
Which is it's not a bad thing.
I would just rather buy it like breaking back above. Like, this 426, break above it, break above this 430, like give us some juice, because we've seen the best of the best, and you're going to get it tonight with Apple, just in what's, you know, if you're looking at charts, just I'm only saying it's the best because for this example, how it's rebounded so much from this, you know, like the selling, once the selling is here on some of these names, it's hard for it to turn around. So right now, even on Apple, it's like 5 straight up days, but like this can revisit again. We have earnings tonight. Join me and Sharif and Adara. Should be a good time. But Apple's just another one of those examples where Microsoft still has this in it. It's just a couple days right now. If it actually starts to sell, then yeah, I mean, we could get a nice little move down. That's 260 down to 220. That's $40. So you're looking down at least 10%. Microsoft kicked off 6 today. I think there's a couple more points southbound on that name.
Just quickly here, Broadcom got to its prior, so the morning low to the afternoon sort of second resistance level in here, it just got there and wicked it out. So taking it into VWAP and at 218, I just trailed it at the same, it was like literally simultaneously at the same moment that pulled back. For what it's worth, NVIDIA pulled up in that same moment. So it tagged 50s in here, 49 specifically. I don't know if it actually hit 50s, 49 specifically. So that's taking the stairs to the upside. And then AMD, which I was going to take the 119, suddenly AMD's not doing anything. I think it might have something to do with the fact that NVIDIA picked up on volume. I'm still open to the idea of the 119 break, but if the volume's in NVIDIA, then you don't want to be in AMD. Mike?
6 1/3 right now, guys. Almost there for Alibaba, blowing through that $100 level, 102.78 right now. Good look for Alibaba. They released their large language model, Qwen, a couple of days ago, and it's, you know, depending on who you believe, it's outperforming some of the major LLMs that we have on this side of the ocean. I'm talking about OpenAI, Google, and it's even outperforming DeepSeek according to some reports. Also, Chinese ADRs in general, guys, are markedly green today. Possible reasons there, Chinese New Year, Sean, you're killing me. Chinese New Year, as well as government efforts, obviously, to boost the markets.
Damn, right now. NVIDIA upside. Yeah, that's hilarious. Like, my wife just says to me, I think about your dumb face all the time. I don't know what, I was like, are you watching this? I don't know if it's like an inside joke here or what. Love you. All right, we are loving this as well. Bang, 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 bang. All right, people said that, you know, Sean gets too excited when he makes winning trades. I'm going to calm down. I don't need to explain this to anybody else. There goes NVIDIA, nicely done to the upside. You're going to see a completely different style of trading. I'm scalping out. Neil's going to hold that. We're rocking this trade right now, NVIDIA. Let's go. NVIDIA, all of a sudden, NVIDIA has become like it's up there right now with Tesla, UPS, and all that because we did hit this with shares. We told you we're going to hit this with a comfortable amount of shares, like as if the kind of market was just opening. So that was a good trade for us right here, right now on your friend and mine, NVIDIA. Now rocking to the top side. And also the futures. I mean, this is 20 handles in the money. It's not like it's ripping up, but we are... Oh, she did. My wife is watching. Thank you so much for that. Oh, she just said she'll tune in for metrics. Well, thank you very much. Oh, Gracie Abrams. That's right. There's a line there, something about...
what about Gracie?
I forget. Marissa, tell me the line in the chat there. There's my daughter's... Well, Gracie Abrams is another basically...
I'm just curious what the line is.
Yeah. She sold out...
No, I know who.
Oh, you know who she is? Yeah, it's that's...
There's only a few things that... Yeah. That's one of the ones I would know.
She knows what it is. Okay, anyways, who cares? All right, let's go on. Don't worry about it, Ramin. I can't deal with all this at this time. All right, so NVIDIA right now, but by the way, I love you. Oh, I already said that thing about one ring to rule them all. So if you saw that, Marissa, you would have seen that earlier. All right, 121.45 upside right there. What are we supposed to talk about? Alibaba. Neil's the only one I think that has this. We had this the other day, breaking through 100. It was great. We had this at 96 long the other day. It was great. Alibaba there on new AI. And I said it to Matteo back there. I said, this is, and maybe it's because of the run that we're on or whatever, but I said, like, as far as trading is concerned, this is one of the greatest times I feel like since we even started the show to be in here as a day trader. And the reason why I'm saying is a lot of these moves are actually continuing. Like you're getting continuation plays. It's not like you need to be super specific with what you're doing. Like whether or not you bought Alibaba at 97 or 98 or 99 or 100, like it's worked. Even if you bought this name at 102.50, you held it against you $1 and it ripped up $1. So it's like there's just been easy trades happening right now, and I think Alibaba is just one of those, and it's like, congratulations. you know, you just have to stick with your game plan, and I think it can be a profitable. And like there, NVIDIA just rips up. Now it's starting to come back down. So it's giving you that 50 cents, like it's giving you the opportunities to make a lot of money on these trades. So here it comes right back down in on NVDA. It's a good thing we're able to take something out there on the top side, as this name's just crashing right back in, NVDA.
So Alibaba, I reversed it. We've talked about reversing sometimes, but who knew? So I reversed, and it was the wrong decision. Didn't lose on the reversal because, I mean, this gets pretty. Sean was sort of talking about the obviousness of some continuations. So you can see what I was kind of going with here. Like we get to the prior day high, lose it on a bit of a trend break. So let's reverse into the short. Then it does this bounce, and I add back in and instantly take a bit of a bigger picture look. And you can even see here, like there's not, like it doesn't run a stop. It doesn't break a low. It's just sitting like 5 cents underneath where I got in, and I just punched out. Because I wasn't looking to go long. I wasn't at the point that I was going to go long again, but I was like, I damn sure shouldn't be shorted. So I just essentially just got out of that trade right in here. It is what it is. Like, obviously, it was a good idea to get out. Could have found our way into another long. But Alibaba, if you've been in this, the go zone is going again, and that's at 70. It was 70 the first time, so technically it didn't get there again, but 80. And it's really the 50 in the 200 period moving averages. Like once this has been able to get back above them, you've seen really good rallies. And I don't know where it's going to end, but I'd at least favor the long until we get to 110, which would be this next high in here on Alibaba. Just, you know, it's been a good one. It's got a great whatever the heck it's called. Whatever. Quell, same thing. Potato.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. No, it doesn't matter. It's a good catalyst for a stock that already fundamentally people liked it from a value standpoint, right? So people have always liked this from a value standpoint. The China risk has been weighing on it. Now all of a sudden you get a good catalyst. Looks like it really wants to be on that run to 110, has to get to 105 first. Maybe that's a next week thing. Chinese ADR this afternoon, not really wanting to chase the top. Generally, volume starts to come down a little bit. But wow, Baba. BTC, let's go.
Institutional buyers are starting to pick up BTC, Neil. We got the Czech National Bank approving the reserve proposal, Norway Sovereign Wealth Fund increasing its exposure, and we also saw the Swiss Central Bank mulling over whether to actually create a Bitcoin reserve. So the institutional players starting to get involved more and more here, guys. IBIT up 1%.
That makes a lot of sense.
Look, we hit IBIT, and it was a great trade. We had it through $60 there today. I don't know. I mean, we posted it on the sticky note. It was a trade that we really liked. We really supported it. It came in there. We supported it again there. It's a back-to-back jack. It's a big trade today. It's IBIT. I mean, honestly, it is.
Another one.
So, I mean, that's enough. It was a good one. We liked the trade. The momentum was there this morning in the NASDAQ. It took $60. There was the pre-market level. I mean, that's it. We wrote down on the sticky note, $60 break. It went upside. And the best thing about this trade is, let's go, NVIDIA. Let's go. It almost came back. It did come back in there. That's why you have to take profits, man, on NVIDIA when it's doing this. All right, so just let me zoom back in just a little quickly here. So what IBIT did was, there's the $60 break, right? So there's 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, whatever. Once we get out that top, we don't know that's the top. That's what the benefit of getting out like this is. And that's why, again, like everyone, you're going to trade your own share sizes. Like, you might not have enough shares to be able to do this. It might not make any sense to do that if you don't have enough shares. So for me, out there, and then it gave us that top again. So that was really important to notice, right? Like as soon as that came out, that was the second top of the day, and that just really came into print. So when that happened, we get a lot out there, able to get, I don't know what we did there, that's 60-30, that's probably the 50 period at that time, that there's the reload again as we come into VWAP. It does get close down to $60. Would have been a little better to be patient there. All right, right now, guys, by the way, NVIDIA is trying to go. So here we go, man. NVIDIA is trying to go back upside, 121.50 right now. It's going. There it is. It's another one. Let's see if we can have some of these diamond hands right now and get it going back there to the upside right now. OpenAI looking for another funding round. We just heard that. Microsoft is involved already.
SoftBank's getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to fund them. But right now, this is what we're dealing with. Looks like it'll be okay. Right now, Microsoft not having too much of effect. But Neil, it's NVIDIA, and it's a monster trade right there. NVIDIA going up to PL1 right now on the day. So let's see what happens here if NVIDIA can break 2150. We'll get another piece. We are now out of half of this NVDA play as it's hit the top too many times. So we're just going to get out of some more shares.
Yeah, I got 5s back there and just scalped them out. It's cresting the same level on NVIDIA. You guys can all see it. 121.5. It's now like 5 times on a 3-minute. So 15 minutes it's been hanging out up here since the break. We'll maybe reload it one more time. And at that point, if it can't make a fresh high, you're too consolidated and might go into something else. But it's still looking strong. The tape is good. The volume's good. There's nothing really about it that says the trend is breaking. Not really sure. It might have just been random, but Netflix just kind of made a flush to the downside here. A few people mentioned it. There's no story or anything, and the volume wasn't that big. But worth noting, Netflix is at the low of the day, and when you look it up on the daily, so Netflix is resisting $1,000 here pretty well. I had not paid attention to this too much, but since the earnings, remember it was $1,000 after earnings. It tried today to get above 990 again. It's been losing this 990 every single time. But this plays both ways. This might give a breakout trade. It could go either way, but I always prefer to be bullish. So let's hope that it gives us a breakout next week or something like that. But yeah, you are trending toward the bottom of the range when the NASDAQ is near the top. Worth keeping an eye out on Netflix here. Again, no story, doesn't really matter. But when everything else is trying to go, Netflix is just saying no. Where is it? Okay, so Intel is at yesterday's high. And this is what we were, there we go. Yesterday's high is here right now, so it's trying to break through. It hasn't broken 2010 just yet. It could break out this trend. If it breaks the trend, it's just going to get short and give it to that high of the day. Let's go to, I believe, to Adara, I'm hearing. Yep.
Here's some context on that OpenAI story from Wall Street Journal. So Wall Street Journal reporting that OpenAI is in talks for a $40 billion funding round that would bring the company to a $340 billion evaluation. So $40 billion round, $340 billion valuation. This part of the story, though, that is pretty key, I actually was reported as early as last night, so it's not necessarily new. SoftBank is actually going to be leading this round. I'm seeing the Wall Street Journal saying that they're considering investing between $15 billion and $25 billion. I was seeing $25 billion earlier, so regardless, it seems like SoftBank is going to be very involved in this round, contributing a pretty hefty amount, and apparently they're also working to bring in additional investors to the round. So I'll have to wait and see here, but $40 billion funding round for Microsoft-backed OpenAI.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Adara. I'm getting lighter and lighter, obviously, on NVIDIA. We now only have a third of that position as we've just came back in. So we'll take some more out as we test this 121 level. So, yeah, nice move up there for the futures. We're able to cash out of some of that, most of that as well, as we came right into that day's high right there. And not day's high, sorry, I guess, just sort of since we had cracked lower, we got into that level. We talked about it right there. So those are a couple outs. Hopefully it continues to go higher. I mean, this is still 15 handles in the money. Let's not hit the fire sale or anything yet as we wait to see what happens now with the TQQs. I mean, I'm thinking about getting out of some more. You know what? Let's just get out. Let's get out of 20% of what we have at 98 if it's going to print us. So we're seeing their offering. Did we get filled? No, we did not. So this is what it's about, right? So right now I'll use the ARCA gateway or whatever gateway I just hit right there. And the thing is that if I get filled at 98, then I will get paid for that trade. So this is the difference when you're seeing me getting in and out, in and out, in and out of all of these trades. You know, despite trading thousands and thousands of shares today, like I've traded over 32,000 shares today, I have fees of $16. So that's just kind of what we're doing. All right, so now the TQs are right here, right now. We're going to try to get a piece out. We are a little bit nervous. We just talked about what's happening with NVIDIA. I just don't know, and I don't really know why it stopped there. Like there was, I mean, I guess that level, but whatever, 120, 150. We have a bunch of outs there. I just was thinking that we were going up. So yeah, let's just
still holding.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good, man.
Intel's holding, AMD's holding.
Yeah.
The NASDAQ is holding. Like Apple is holding. Yeah. Apple is holding above VWAP. Like everything outside of like just now looking at Netflix, I don't really see anything overtly bearish. Oh, there was
overtly bearish.
So by the way, UPS got all the way back to 115 and is above VWAP. This could be a spicy like day 2. It'll be a short sell restricted again tomorrow. The way it made this bottom, let's look at a 15-minute. The way this made the bottom was absolutely intense. I tried the short here at 115, got in the money, went to like 114 change or something like that before coming back. But that's a huge V-shape that if it holds the higher low, you come in tomorrow and it's short sell restricted, you might see a little bit of an attempt to gap fill. Another earnings name that was a flush job early, but is managing to recover pretty decently. All right, so I'm still just focused on Intel. You can see like it's really testing the trend line. You haven't, on a 15, obviously it will take longer for it to close below. On this 3, which is the same trend, it's just hugging the trend line and not wanting to break down. Ezekiel Lapera, is NVIDIA a bull flag? Yeah, that's I guess on this, like that is a bull flag. I guess it's not long enough to call it a pennant or whatever other thing you would attribute to it. But yes, strong move up and a consolidation. All of that really, I look at it this way. All it means is you have a strong trend and then you have a consolidated phase holding the highs of the trend. And it's doubly good if that prior support is prior resistance, in my opinion. So, prior resistance there, and then turning into support there on NVIDIA. So yeah, it's a bull flag, I suppose. If that's the reason you're trading it, sometimes you can play it either way. You can be long the bottom, or you could be taking the breakout. I think both ways are reasonable. I'd prefer to be in the long on a consolidation with a stop under it than taking the breakout. Because in that way, with the breakout, if you're long here, you have multiple options. So I usually prefer dip buys to breakouts this time of day.
All right. Here is a big trade for us today too. UPS. I mean, again, we got out of this one. This was as it was written on the sticky note. We were pennies away from getting a higher bid there. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We shorted 117 and then 118 again. That's what we wrote down. If you want to, again, thank you everybody for joining us. We're putting up big numbers on the stream, and I think it's like all of you guys following me on Instagram. I got like, it's not that many messages, but like maybe 5 or 6 messages today about how you guys are enjoying everything. We post a sticky note up there, and you're just enjoying the stream and whatnot. So it means a lot to us. So thank you for that. All right. I feel like flush a little bit. I hope I'm not coming down with something. I feel fine, but
it's hot.
Oh, is it hot in here?
I was close to taking this silly sweater off.
Good. Thankfully.
Like I put the sweater on this morning.
I don't want to take the shirt off because, Sharif's supposed to be the gun show. If I do that, then people will be like, maybe it's not Sharif, No, but right here, 111, I just want to make sure like that's where we got out. It broke above the 50-period moving average for the very first time there, and it doesn't look like it now. But again, that's one of the benefits of eSignal, by the way, the tick replay. I mean, you could go see what's going on. But right there, so that was a good out for us. That was $6 on the, hold on a second. $6 there on the last piece as we try to wake everybody up a little bit there. 111 and change on UPS. Again, failed report today. But, one report that I guess was bad and then all of a sudden it was good was Mobileye. Like, you brought this to our attention. I know Obi traded this as well today. It was just like, what? Mobileye, check out this off the open. Can you take a look at that? Bang, right there up to the upside. So yesterday we closed in and around here, $16. I guess this was, you guys must have had this yesterday. Mobileye falls. We have some earnings today, but I don't know if we're going to have anything like this with Mobileye. Nice move down, but I didn't even realize this was only a $16 name. I remember when Intel spun this off, it was like the cat's meow. And then all of a sudden, right down into there, $13.75 or so, and then a rally, and then look what happened right off the open. This is basically the earnings schedule, and that is like their playbook. Is if it breaks the top right there, then blast off. Now, I don't know what trade Obi had exactly, but that was like, go with it. You have to just trust it. And I think that if you break that top right there, then you are going to have to use VWAP or something as where you'd want to get out. So let's just pretend that this trade didn't happen already and it was 8:30. What I would say is like, if you're going to break that top there at $15, which is actually pretty cool that it was 15. I kind of wish I would have noticed that as well. I didn't even look at
to
this.
The penny?
Basically, yeah, this pre-market high right there is $15 at $8.12. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So
that was the trade.
yeah, like I didn't even look at Mobileye earlier. Wish I would have, but there. So you break that. So that's 15. So let's just pretend we're doing this. So if I would say the risk that I'd be looking at here would probably be a top break, and if that's where VWAP is, that's 50 cents almost exactly. So I would say, okay, this is a trade that I'm stamping, especially if it's on here. If it's going to be on the sticky note, it's a Broadcom or it's a Google, it's an idea that we like. Maybe you put in there, let's just say for argument's sake, 500 shares, okay? My stop would, and Neil said this earlier about Broadcom, your stop goes in, it would be in there at 50 cents. You're being that disciplined trader because an undisciplined trader will fail 100% of the time. So if you don't have that stop in there, not 100% of the time. I mean, you could lose discipline and still win at some point, but it's not going to work over time. At the end of the day, that 50 cents there would have been the risk. So you automatically, in my mind, I say that's $250 worth of a risk. Now, whether or not you scalp out of it, whether or not you make $250 on it or not, that is the implied risk, and you got to have that in your mind to trade out accordingly. So there's the huge move, man. Not only does it give you that $15 break, so I'd say if 50 cents is kind of your first stop, that's right there. Then you get another 50 cents, and it's just like blast off. So what a great trade there. Wow, Neil. Okay, so NVIDIA right now, like, I don't, again, like I read the chat, oh man, this guy's bragging. What do you want me to say about this trade? We put it on, we talked about this trade. We don't have any losing trades today. It kind of, a saying from Neil, it is what it is. And
That's not my saying.
Oh, you always say like your trade style is...
Do I say that much?
I think you do. But anyways, it doesn't matter then. Okay, then we'll wet our beak then. But no, at the end of the day, look, this is a trade. And do I get excited because we have this trade on? Yes. Do I get excited because we put on shares? Yes. But most importantly, I'm just excited because it's working out. We're trying to teach people what we're doing. And again, like I told you, this was going to be a decent position. Now we have the 50-period moving average giving us that love back. So now we don't even have to worry about it. Like now, if it breaks this 50-period moving average, we could just get out because this is a back-tested thing. What's up? I like that. I like that big dog. I like that. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat, man. This is what we're here for. There it is. What's up, celery? That's what we're here for. You know, it's this kind of stuff. So there it is. Oh, I ignore the haters, man. I've been doing that for a very, very long time, believe that. But at the end of the day, man, this is what it is. It is what it is. Neil's the balanced one. Yeah, maybe. That might be true. And it's just my personality, you know. But again, like, I do it because, like, I'm here to actually, my personality is actually, like, you'll see when we do the interviews, like, I'm very, very, like, very, very calm. Like, honestly. I do this, I'm doing this for the show. Like, I'm trying to show you guys winning trades and getting excited about them. You know, if we just sit, and I know the guys, and again, the show, all the shows have different flows to them. You know, like on the midday show, it's congrats, this, that, everything else. Neil and I are very focused as well on trying to do this. Neil and I have known each other for 25 years. So we'll get excited about our own things and each other's things.
We're
more
old,
than that?
We're older.
Yeah, 35 years. Come on, Neil, I was trying to...
No, it's 30. It's actually, I think it's 30 this year.
All right, we'll take it in the middle.
30, yes, it's 30.
There you go. Sean is calm, cool.
It's 30. It's 30. No, it's 30 this year, I think.
Yeah, I thought
actually,
it was like grade 8, grade 8,
oh
grade
God,
9.
yeah. No, it was grade 9.
Okay, perfect.
Because grade 10 basketball was like.
And we're both like we're both early 30s. So let me see, grade 9.
Yeah. Actually,
I have a 22-year-old.
I almost told the grade 10 basketball story when we were doing that interview in there, but I was like, whatever. And I hate Duke. We didn't know, so I've said this before. We did like, to win a game, we had the Grant Hill to Christian Laettner
Right,
play.
we had that one pass.
It was like 5 seconds left in the game. I was doing the long inbounds. Sean just basically went right to the top of the key. Bang, full court pass, baseball pass. It was boom, turnaround, jump shot. We beat.
It was about the pass, you know. I can't do it without the pass.
I don't know the ass we beat. They were.
It was
a team we weren't supposed.
Team.
We weren't supposed to be losing the game. We were.
It was something in.
We were getting upset, and then.
I just want to say this is the reason. Someone here said it here, right here. Yeah, what's up, Simon? This is what it's about, just keeping motivated. That's basically what it is. I mean, I could read everybody's comments here, but it's trying to show you, because I often do try to keep it real and say that this is and we just film those things. Again, like, it is kind of a lonely thing. Like, we're lucky enough to have friendships and be sitting beside each other and have everybody here. You know, so it's just like, yeah, let's get excited together. So sometimes when we have these wins, I do want to celebrate that. Thank you so much. So that's scalping. Yeah, everybody knows their ways. All right, so here goes the TQs, man. That's 20 handles in the money right now. We do have an offer up a lot higher now, 83.38. So we want to try to break this level and then get through there. That's 80. I should put it right here, actually. We already took some out up here. All right, we're just trying to get higher up. So let's see what happens now. with this position. I can only tell you that since this has started at 2 p.m., which is only now 40 minutes, and we did that rundown, I've added 25% to my day's net. So that's with this Q's trade right there and with this NVIDIA trade. Which this NVIDIA trade, by the way, Sharif, we just bought 121 longs on that break, and we hit it as if the market, like as if this was a real time, right? So there it goes, man. It's going to be a nice little trade through there for right now. Let's see if we take out 122 and get a little bit higher. I really think Apple's going to have a blowout quarter, like a really big one, guys. So let's wait to see what happens there tonight. I think this market could rally potentially into the close. 20 handles on TQ and almost $1 now on NVIDIA.
My only fear for Apple is that they should have bought up Meta, continued buying Meta, and they didn't seem to care how great it was.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think they're going to have a great quarter too, but like how much did it end up mattering for Meta after the fact here? So no, that's the only concern I have. I think Apple's going to be fine. So look, here's the trend break in Intel. So they're in, break the high out. I mean, I guess that's pretty simple. And there was a question in the chat if there are any pictures from the time. There's high school pictures of us. As far as basketball ones, that I'm not entirely sure of. I'm sure they exist somewhere, but there are a bunch of high school pictures. No, we did. No, we
old yearbook.
No, we had the video on your birthday. There was a bunch of stuff in that.
If you go to the September 17th show, honestly,
yeah,
you could go find it.
I don't remember what. I know was it was at 11 o'clock. So it would have been right at around 11 o'clock, 10:45 to 11 o'clock on the September 17th.
Yeah, that was very nice of you guys.
So check that one out. It's got a bunch of old pictures of us. But for basketball specifically, like this is. We're not that young, so people didn't have cell phones.
I mean, you use the reference of Christian Laettner. I mean, I feel like half the audience might not even know who that is. I'm sure they know who Grant Hill is.
Why would people know Grant Hill but not Christian Laettner?
Grant Hill's way more famous, no?
No, I know, but Christian Laettner was on the Dream Team. Believe that. Obviously, it should have been Shaq.
I actually don't believe that, actually.
No, it should have been Shaquille O'Neal, and that's a whole other story. But for those that aren't familiar with it, like they. You know,
Christian Laettner beat out Shaquille O'Neal
and Alonzo Mourning. It's true. It comes down to the fact, like, so basically you got to think about at the time it's Duke. So he was like the biggest like college known star, visually people knew who he was. Everyone loves to hate Duke, so it was that more than the other thing, which was being good at basketball, which he wasn't. He's a good player. He was an all-star, but he wasn't that good. So. Yeah, I hate the Blue Devils. I'm not someone just said in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, now the Raptors have won 6 of their last 7 games.
We can't even tank right.
What are the Raptors doing, man? Fire our coach. He's winning too many games.
Because we want to get the kid from Duke, who's going to be better than Christian Laettner.
We're not. Well, he better be. We're not getting that.
No, he's way better than Christian Laettner ever was.
We're not getting that Duke guy. We're not coming in that low. NVIDIA right now is, guys, it's a face slapper. I was going to say some other lines like Ric Flair, but we're not going to do those. And we're just going to prop it up right now because we take some out at 90. I'm also waiting now at 99 because, or no, we're not. We don't got 99 problems. We're waiting at 122 flat right now to the upside. $1 winner right there on some shares for NVIDIA as we continue to go. Yeah, Cooper Flagg. Yeah, exactly. That's
the guy.
I mean, I said his name when you said it, but I don't. I mean, I would love for the Raptors to be able to have a low pick. I just don't know. The NBA has a way of letting certain teams win the lottery, and I just don't think that the Raptors will be one of those teams. We got the first overall pick, and yeah, we drafted Italian great Andrea Bargnani. Oh, here we go. Let's go. There it goes, man. It is in the money right now. It is a dollar club. It is Say What's Up to Max. It is Hydration Nation. It is time to floss it up. Now I'm kind of rubbing it into everybody that doesn't want me to get excited. There it goes, man. It's a monster move for us on NVDA. And guys, like, honestly, this is what it is. It's a nice move to the upside. We have a decent position on. We still have about 20% or so of it, and it was a big one. NVIDIA on this trade, imagine we had an $18 winner on Tesla, and we are up more now if I would exit this trade on NVIDIA on the day than we are on Tesla. And the reason why is, remember when we took this Tesla trade, we said to you that this was just going to be a little piece of the position because we were looking for a little bit lower. So that way, when we take the $18 winner, sure, it's a great trade. But this NVIDIA one that rips up $1 right in front of all of our faces, I mentioned putting on some risk. So right now, NVIDIA, just with all of the trades that we've made today, this is going to be P&L number 1. And it was just done right now. So again, there you go. You know, you got to just sort of take the trades where they lie. And this one just was right there for us. We took it. It's NVIDIA. And I talked about why I liked it. No matter how excited I get on here, the number one goal that I take to heart, because it's what I've been doing here for 20 years, is teaching. And honestly, it's like, we talked about why we liked it. Above VWAP, breaking that level, 50 period, 200 period hold, support, catalyst. Like it's exactly what we want. So when it prints out, it is a good feeling. And I hope a lot of you had that trade. I know Neil has some shares there too. So it's a good one there. And then on the other side of it, there we go, man. Like, it's also the TQs that are finally going. So this is a 40 handle winner. We have $1.20 on NVIDIA and 40 handles now on the NASDAQ. So yeah, you know, we're putting these numbers up. Like I told you, probably my best week. And it's like, as the young kids say, no cap.
No cap, they do say. I don't say that one.
Young kids, Neil.
It is what it is. Well, I'm pretending that I'm young. That's what we're doing.
Cap.
That's what we're doing after you just made us. No, I made the comment that made us look old, which is true.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We're just keeping it real with that
You
one.
kind of are old.
It's one of those days. Look, I did the lesson of the day, everybody. So it's a weird day for me in that I didn't actually take every single stock was good. But you know what? If you watch the middle of the day, you know what happened to me because I told you guys the story on AVGO. By the way, I have a trail underneath the trend line. So break, trend, same way I went short in Intel, get out of NVIDIA. But you saw what happened in Broadcom today. And I sort of mentioned, it doesn't look like much, but trust me, two things. One, if I don't react quickly and swiftly. And two, if I didn't already have a stop before I went into the position, then I'd be shut down today on Broadcom. And I wouldn't just be it doesn't look like much. I wouldn't just be shut down. I would have lost more than a month. Like it was one of those keystroke errors. So much to the point that like when the fat fingered in, it didn't fill all in one shot. Because it didn't fill all in one shot. So you actually see it like doubled in. It filled here and then it filled up there. But I was able to get at a 95% of it instantly once I realized how screwed I was. And then B, I always have the stop in. See where that is? Like that's that bar. Before I even get into the VWAP long, the stop is in. So that no matter what, I was always going to be able to get it. I'm not saying you should always have stops in. One of the advantages of real trading, we have multiple stop orders that we can use. Get into position, get out of position. So the ability to, and I know this is simple and most traders will be able to do this, where you can not be in your position, cover yourself with your stop before you go long. Jeez. That way, if something crazy happens, you're going to be good to go.
Getting excited now.
That's what it's all about. Now, this is obviously distinctly different. This was the biggest volume candle of the afternoon, this last one breaking 122 on NVIDIA. So it's a run, either 123 at this point, either 123.30. What is that, 30? Yeah, 33, or break of trend, which I do have to move manually. That's my next goal. I want to be able to put a trend line in and have it automatically move my trailing stop. But that would require me talking to the algorithm, I think. I don't know that we have that capability.
No, or you can learn how to code, but I don't.
Well, I could
get my kids.
ChatGPT. My daughter's starting to do some. This is like his coding class thing that she's doing, where she codes out this Minecraft stuff.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, my kids started coding like honestly 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. There's a class actually I can tell you. I forget what it's called.
She has a camp.
There's a robotics. Yeah. My kids they were doing. They don't do it anymore, but 3D printing is really cool too. The kids love that.
Just make sure. All right. I wouldn't make a joke about that.
Yeah, my son actually, when he started playing Roblox, he actually coded a game and started getting paid because some kids started playing it. But
what do they call the rooms again? There's a name for them. Shoot, it doesn't matter. Like her first week she made one as well. Yeah, but there's a name for
really
those.
Cool.
I love Roblox.
You got to get your kids. Yeah, Roblox.
I think those types of games are much better than the alternative.
Yeah,
like Minecraft, Roblox. You learn. You're actually building skills.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. My son sometimes will play the first-person shooter games as well.
That's fine.
Hopefully, he's not learning too much with those.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So right now, there goes the TQs, man. It's now. These are now. I better not say it. I don't want people to think that I'm saying anything here. But Nvidia is now $1.40, Neil. And look, it's P&L number 1. And it's going, so let's just watch it. Let's see if there's anything else going out. Broadcom, you see, I don't know. Again, a lot of this is not just catalyst based. Broadcom's not moving right now, and NVIDIA's mooning, you know? So it's like, it's picking the technical levels as well. Like, we can't just have this kind of a week or anything like that just by screwing around. You got to be very, very specific on what your targets are. There have been some plays where we could have got absolutely blown out. Like today, not absolutely blown out. We didn't have a huge amount of shares there, but we could have lost like our 10% of our daily net or whatever on this Broadcom trade if that would have fell through, because our stop was right here. And it just didn't fall. Like, we were watching out for that 200 period, didn't fall through. So that was pretty lucky that didn't happen immediately. So sometimes there are plays that involve, I hate using terminologies like luck and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know if it is luck, but at the end of the day, you got to be resourceful. And someone said it, you just talked about stop orders and bracket orders and all that stuff. Like, those are what saves you 10 times out of 10. You know, like this NVIDIA trade on a loss, you know, we talked about where we would get out this 50-period moving average. So we already had sort of our targets on where this was going to go. So when it starts to blow up, and if you have a lot of shares, that this is just what I do. I just scalp this thing out. Like, it's still $1. This is why I'm telling you, it's still $1.25 in the money. You know, so if you like that trade and maybe, you know, you're holding it for a certain level, you see Neil's holding this, then you can take that out, you know. But again, everybody can do that. I thought Uber, I was actually going to short Uber. Let me see how this worked out. No, so okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it's nice to see that battle back. That's been great. That's for sure. But I was just going to say, like, you see this level right here? This to me is getting interesting for a short. Now, it's not moving, so I think we'll stay away. It doesn't look like it's going to have. You know what was important, actually? Luis Barbado there this morning. So I shout out to AD Trading over there in Barcelona. If you guys are interested in joining Real Trading, he's over there in Barcelona. So the thing about that is that he was saying, like, the level 2 sort of has to dance a little bit. You know, he was saying, we got to be able to look. Come over to the screen here, just quickly. Like, you could see right now with Uber, there's really, the volume's pretty low right now. It's kind of just climbing up. Like, it's not giving us some kind of ways right now. You know, like, NVIDIA was barcoding. It had that level that it wanted to break. We liked the long. We took it. You know, so for me, for Uber right now, I kind of wish it was a little bit more volume right here, because this is looking like a decent area to maybe short Uber. So I was thinking about 67. So let's keep our eye on this thing. If this gets up to 67, I think it might be worth it. I'd just like to see some volume pick up now in Uber. So let's go back over to Neil. I just want to say that that's something that I was looking at there on Uber. So.
Yeah, look, I was just happy that Uber made that V-shaped bottom, but we shouldn't be surprised because everything's made a V-shaped bottom. Right. So one thing, NVIDIA did break very briefly the trend, but there was also a super chat about VWAP here. Live Fast 656, appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat.
Always.
Then you look at VWAP, MA, and trend lines. Are you looking at on the daily chart? As always, thank you. Thank you. It's a great question. So I tend to draw, like, if I'm trading off a trend line, I'm drawing on my 3-minute chart or my 15-minute chart. It's my intraday chart that I'll use that for. If I have is that invalid session thingy? If I have like a 50 period or a 200 period, that's going to be on my daily chart. But I draw the trend lines on those lower time frame intraday charts, and then VWAP is just going to be on my intraday. I don't use VWAP on like a daily chart. I think you put like maybe like anchors, or you would put on a daily chart. But a regular VWAP, that'll be on an intraday chart for sure. And just quickly before we go to Adara, there was the slight break of trend, so I trailed it up, and now out of NVIDIA. It also got to, it did make a nice press through 122. It actually probably still has some room, but just going to follow the rules there. And I think I might jump out of this Intel. One other thing about when you get into a reversion trade, ideally it works right away. So instead of stop high of the day, stop underneath like right here, that 06 zone. Like if these should revert and then look really good, typically in rapid fashion. When it doesn't, you got to know when to back away from it because it's obviously an upward trending stock. Let's go to Adara.
A little bit of a story here for Google, which is doing really nicely on the day. I'm seeing Mac Rumors, which is a site that often reports on rumors or things they're hearing specifically about Apple, but also about companies like Google. Basically, they're reporting that Google has started rolling out a new feature called Ask For Me. This is a feature that allows AI to call local businesses on the user's behalf to give them information like pricing and availability. So new AI call feature apparently being tested for GOOGL. Also, before we send you back to the guys. I want to show off the brand new graphic we have here for TTV Research ahead of Apple earnings. I've teased out a lot of these. This one, we talk a lot about market share in China, so let's talk about it here. This is Q4 2023. This is Q4 2024. Apple is the only company whose market share decreased on a year-over-year basis there. This is according to data from Canalys, which just basically takes estimates here. But yes, we had Oppo, Xiaomi, Huawei, and Vivo all increase their market shares on a year-over-year basis for Q4 2024. Apple's decreased by 25%. So there's another graphic in this realm that's about to come out soon. But for now, I want to show you guys this one. You can check out everything at TTV Research on X. These will also be shown during the market recap tonight. So check it out with myself, Sean, and Sharif. Back to you.
Murderers Row again. It's just like, so no, I'm talking about for the aftermarket show. You're going to be able to get
with Sharif, yeah.
I mean, just like it's the equivalent of Vladdy and Shohei and Juan Soto back to back for the Toronto Blue Jays, which obviously you can't see because the Jays can't sign anybody, but you do get to have that opportunity
No,
in the aftermarket show.
I'm going to take Shohei.
Of course you would take Shohei Ohtani.
I want to live in LA. I was going to say I want to live in New York, which is why I was going to be Soto, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's the Mets.
Where would you rather live? I don't care about the team.
Oh no, New York.
You just paid the guy.
No, the ground shakes in LA, and
yeah,
no, and nothing against
that.
No, I get nothing against LA, but like, dude, when I'm seeing those fires, and I have a family member, and then like not a cousin, but from Antigua, another family member, kind of family member, and saw some of the devastation in our group chat and the evacuation, like that stuff scares. It's just like when you have a family, like that's the kind of thing. I mean,
you could still live.
When
you
you
don't
can
have to live in those.
Oh, I know,
areas.
but I mean, in New York. Like
I'm choosing LA, man. I don't need that weather.
I don't love the weather either.
I was saying to Marissa last night, I'm like,
can I just pick Miami?
But Miami's the same problem, the devastation. You're kind of going against your word there.
But it's at least Miami, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. Yeah, no, I know.
South Beach?
I mean, that's why I'm picking out. Yeah, I think we're picking the same thing. Okay, I just said this. Talk about Miami.
South Beach is way better. No, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I've been to South Beach too. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me, Miami or LA, where'd you rather live? Or New York. We can actually get a poll up. I think it's good. Right here, we'll say, hey, at DJ Khaled. Look, you only got 5 million followers, but here it is, DJ. Another one. So maybe if you maybe because you might know him from Miami there.
No.
Or no. Okay, yeah, me neither. No. But if you're watching, DJ, there it is right now. Nice little long with NVIDIA. Another one, all live trading at Trader TV Live right there as we put a few shekels there in the pocket. That's a Neil line for sure. Okay, so here we go. $1.50. Guys, like what we are in the money right now is 100 handles on the NASDAQ. Like, okay. Honestly, like what exactly has happened? Like that out right there, right now today. All right, guy, honestly, all right, Broadcom. What did we take? This was P&L number one before NVIDIA stepped in the building. There it is right there. IBIT, the $60 long. Okay, that's 2 for 2. I'm not picking the trades. I've always wanted to do a scoreboard. Maybe we can get that someday. But there's IBIT. Here's NVIDIA as well. You know this trade. We're all in this trade together. The TQs, we only put one trade on. There it is right there. And I'm just picking all the stocks I traded today. Tesla. You guys know that one. And then really, the one that I'm pretty proud of, maybe the most proud of, and again, we'll go 6 for 6, but it's this one right here because on the sticky note, we had this written down right there. One of our plays, 117 to 118 short. We had a 117 offer and a 118 offer. I actually wish I would have gone 117.50 and get a little bit more. We actually wanted Google long as well. There's the Broadcom. There's NVIDIA here. There's IBIT 60 long break. So, we're in the right area. I want to thank, we got a bunch of new followers over the last couple of days. So I want to thank you for all of that. I mean, it makes sense why. I always say to everybody here, like, why we're here is hopefully for entertainment, hopefully to hear this, but hopefully for winning trades as well, because that's the thing. Like, even on days that we lose, hopefully we'll be able to break it down enough that, we're able to explain why we got in, why we got out, and really what's rocking and rolling. So there goes NVIDIA. I've always told you that the stop is the 50-period moving average. And now it's like, okay, we only have about 15% left, but this is a big trade. This is going to move into P&L number one for me. So we did it live for you here on the show. We talk like that, and it is what it is. So here we go. Let's wait to see what happens with NVIDIA. Mooning now northbound. Great trading. And again, we talk about this. I take pretty much I take a lot of shares that I'm comfortable with. So as it starts to moon like this, we just piece it out. And that's the one thing I have to work on. I mean, I'd love to be holding the whole bag right now. My net would be double on the day. If I had the whole thing still, my net would be double. And that's fine, but at the same time, you got to trade how you trade. Now $1.70 in the money there. And the same thing with the TQs, except for we actually still have half of this trade. So this is a good one as this continues to moon higher. So again, not to talk about net, but since this has started at 2 p.m., we've added now about 30 to 35% more onto our day. So far so good here. And yeah, we're having another one in this afternoon.
Yeah, it's been a great one so far, no questions asked. But the only slip up, it'll be the first. It's actually not a very big hit, obviously. But I moved the stop on it, so that was a bit of a change on Intel. So it'll be pay some fees on Intel, but mostly flat. There was a question in the chat. What do you guys think about Intel for the earnings? Intel's the kind of stock where it actually might not be a very good report, but it doesn't actually have to matter because it seems like the bottom's in on Intel. At least theoretically, it's the worst has come in. I doubt there's anything fundamentally that could get worse for Intel. And when that's the case, I tend to only look to the upside. Now, I'm not a buyer here because I'm still holding like 20% of a position from before at like 25.42 or something like that. So actually, I'm pretty sure that's the exact price of 25.42. So I'm not really looking to enter. And I don't know that I want to be a buyer till it's above the 50 period or the 200 period moving average anyways. But I suspect, like, you could have a situation where Intel's up double digits when they barely even had a good number, and Apple's doing nothing when they blew out and made boatloads of money. That would not surprise me one bit and whatsoever. So I'm still, you know what, I went back to first principles, and I'm throwing the stop break back in on AMD, because I looked over, and it was the first thing that I was talking about there. And then as we were looking literally at NVIDIA in the same moment, it was just stronger. The tape was faster. Oddly enough, it was the top of this thing, like the trade rate on eSignal.
Exactly.
So it's weird because like I'm sitting there and I have NVIDIA up on one chart and I've got AMD, and then I saw it on the trade rate higher and I went over and punched into NVIDIA. Now, AMD, on my note, I like the 119 over-under. Obviously, it broke out this morning, and I was trading other stuff. But, yeah, 119 is about to come in now. It's just a key little pivot spot here. So I still want to take this break. We're in the power hour, so you don't know how many more shots you're going to get. Take the break, give it to the local bottom, and then see where it wants to go from there. And it's not as strong, but even if it gets dragged up a little bit, you can get a scalp trade. 120 going to be resistance on that one. And I'm not giving up on AVGO. I got out of the trade, and it's now holding where we got out, but it's still holding a higher low on Broadcom. Like, there's still a chance it's got a little bit left in it. Like, it possibly already did its move off the bottom, and you're not going to get any more, but there's still a little bit of time for this to continue the stair step to the upside. But for me, like, there's one situation where you get it all out, and it looks like a good decision, and then along the same principle, you get it all out, and it looks like a bad decision, but system is the system. And that's what you got to, well, I'm still bidding. And that's what you got to do. If NVIDIA gets to 121, it will have dropped 1 full %. So that's very different from buying it when it's consolidating, right? So I just cancel my bid. You can cross that bridge when if it gets down there. But I do not like to have bids just sitting too far out. If it's 9:30 at the open and you're looking to get whooshed in, great. But I don't like doing that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually it gets a little more violent and you can get run over. And I pulled BABA away. At least for, whoa, okay, maybe this is
cracking.
It is an opportunity. Anything else going? No.
No, I got some out there. I don't know.
All right, this might be an opportunity here.
I mean, this is why you sell, right?
Quickly bounce.
You know, a lot of us go here and we're like, okay, you know, what is going on here? What's going on? I mean, the fact that we're able to sell here and sell there, like look at this, what just happened here on the chart of NVIDIA. Like we have top tick. You know, you got to get pieces out when this stuff is happening, and there it comes right back in now on NVIDIA as we get lighter and lighter. I actually took another piece out there on TQQs, despite me thinking that Apple's going to absolutely tear the roof off. I don't know. I'm not sure it's too responsible to be sitting here with an hour left, looking now at the futures and like holding it all the way. I'm pretty fine with NVIDIA. Like I said, that's sort of been what we needed to do, so that's good. If it does break the 50-period moving average, you guys, I mean, let's do it live. That's going to be my stop, so we're right there. 121.85. It just stopped off of it. Let's put it in. 121. Let's go 79. Some would say it's a decent birth year, Neil. All right, so there it is, 121.79. We're going to offer that out right there, and we will go from there and see. So that's going to be our stop. Hopefully, we can get back up to the upside. I think we should have another offer there at 122.79 where we got filled the first time. Again, that's almost $3. We'll put another offer there, and then we'll work out of it. We now only have 10% left of this position. All right, other than that, though, not much else going on.
Palantir could break the high of the day.
Oh, really? Okay, good. I was looking for some new names.
I'm just looking for other stuff here.
Yeah, good. Let's go.
The volume's not great on Palantir, but, I mean, it's up 2 points. That's not a, let me just shovel check my morning. Yeah, that's a legitimate high. This is 81.65. So when I see it on my 15-minute chart, I want to have an idea what it looks like on the 3-minute chart over there. But Palantir looks pretty good, as always. Sorry, I tried to hold that sneeze and I didn't get to my mute button. Sorry.
That's a good one, though.
I prefer dip buys than top breaks, so I'd rather get involved maybe here on a consolidation in Palantir as opposed to just trying to take the top break. There's a bit of a seller at 81.50, which is this current local high here. So I think maybe if they can sell this down into the 40s and then throw a stop underneath this 81.28, something along those lines. For PLTR is the way that I'd want to approach this. But I'd rather not take the top break at the random 81.66 that is sitting here. I want to be into the high of the day, and then we get into power hour trade. Palantir didn't have news. It's just a multi-day recovery rally. Here, I'll show you there. Palantir, load, load, load. So it's done this now a couple of times where it's bounced off the 70 level. There you go, a couple of times, and then runs right into 82, which is now doing a few times. So AMD, we just got into. Palantir, I'm going to try the dip buy. My stop is already in underneath 81 and a quarter.
Or we did miss some fan funding there, so I apologize for that one. What's up to Danny? Right, so Neil got this one, obviously about Intel right there. You just want to say thank you to Sean, sorry, I didn't even read these, for the NVIDIA trade. You're welcome, obviously. You trade options in it. Believe me, man, I mean, we were close on this platform to be getting options. I don't know what the story is with options anymore. It would basically be a dream of mine to be able to trade options live with you guys here. And I hope to do that one day. So thank you, Danny, for that. And you suggest doing options because we would be so much. Yeah, I agree. So I hope out for that. So thank you so much, Danny, for that. Danny, thank you so much. All right, so the next one that we want to talk about quickly here is third super chat on the stream, by the way. It says right there. Pretty cool, some of the stuff that you can get access to here on this. Shekels for saying Shekels. Thank you so much for that one, I guess, that we appreciate that. And then the next one, hold on, I just got to watch out for this video. I just took some more out right there. Okay, hey, what's up to L? Is that El Cholowski there? Thank you for that one, £5. Hey, Sean, you should always celebrate your trades. Thank you. That's what we're trying to do. And I told you, man, we've already, we know, like that. So we'll continue to celebrate them and to do each their own, right? MSTR can profit. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here, Palantir and MicroStrategy earnings thoughts. So Palantir, I think, was the 4th or something next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly when... MSTRs are. We'll have to look at that. Profit, even they're using debt to purchase BTC. So the thing is that I've already talked about this when Brendan and I used to have the podcast. We had sort of talked about it. This is just a levered, basically MSTR is like a levered ETF. I'm going to call it up in a second. Thank you so much for all of the super chats again as we go. Yeah, MSTR again. So you're 100%. You nailed it already. When you can give your debt out at a certain percentage, whatever they're paying, 4 or 5%, whatever, for people to on share offerings or whatnot, or capital raises. And then you can put that money into crypto and immediately buy Bitcoin. Well, when you're paying let's just say, again, I don't know the number. You guys that know MicroStrategy know what they're paying on that. But 4, 5, 6%, I don't know, something like that. And then crypto can literally move. It's up 50% since... election. This is a split, so you don't have to worry. But at the end of the day, I think MicroStrategy continues to work if you like Bitcoin. As long as they're holding what they say they are, they're a public company, so I'd assume they've been vetted. I like MicroStrategy. Let me call it up, and I'll throw it back to Neil because everyone's probably tired of me. But right there, MicroStrategy, here's a little bit of a better chart. Now, there was... I don't know if it was Hindenburg or who exactly it was, Muddy Waters, but there was a report there that even if you sort of add up all the coins on their book, and then multiply it by the current price of Bitcoin, you still don't get the market cap, but that makes sense, right? Because they're taking that risk of basically going all in on Bitcoin. So you are going to pay a little bit of a premium to own a company that owns like thousands of Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think they're buying like, what is it, every Friday or something?
But it's also the perpetuity of them to continue to do it that you're also getting as well.
And
right?
you're paying for the expertise to go in there and raise that capital and to do all that. But anyways, exciting times for MicroStrategy. Thank you so much for the super chat. I would just say, if you like Bitcoin though,
That's my thing.
I mean, there's something that you can buy for that.
My physio guys in MST are for exactly the same reasons. And I keep saying, like, I don't know, I just really like
So
Bitcoin.
many much smarter people out there than us. That
I'm not a crypto guy. I keep it simple. I like Bitcoin. And we like Adara. Let's go to the desk.
I wanted to talk here about MSTR. I did find their earnings date. It's going to be February 5th, so the day after Palantir. Tuesday, February 5th, after the close. Estimated time of the report is going to be around 4 p.m. These are usually pretty accurate estimates. And also with regards to the short report, it was actually Citron Research that issued a short report. It wasn't a short report as much as it was just kind of saying that their strategy for right now would be to go long Bitcoin and short MSTR, just because of the fact that MSTR at the time had been performing not really in correlation with Bitcoin. The other thing I want to add about that report or comment from Citron is they were not short the stock. They were just saying that would be their approach. Also, if you want to learn even more about MSTR's history, I just remembered we had this graphic from a while ago on TTV Research that tracks MSTR's entire wild, woolly, and volatile 2024. So I will share that link in the chat so you guys can check that out here. Again, check it out. TTV Research. I am making infographics literally all the time. So if you have any suggestions, tag me. I'll try to include them, guys. Back to you.
If MSTR had a wild year, then what was SMCI's year? Like, SMCI is the most ridiculous year that I've ever seen any stock go through. Unfortunately, not for the good, unless you were knowing everyone broke taking profits. I never invested in that stock, but I feel for anybody that did. Maybe it can catch a bit of a bid. That's another time. I have no idea when they report. But here comes Palantir. So I'm going to go out to the higher time frame because maybe you'll want to see. There's overhead resistance at $82.25. So you do have a top going back to, what is that, the 26th? So just a few days ago, I want to scalp into that high. Didn't want to take the high break at that random price, so bought the consolidation, or as one of our viewers said, buy inside of the bull flag, or I guess that's more the bull flag, and that's just nothing. But it doesn't matter. It was consolidating up there. Let's see if it can break. It's at the current high, looking to get some out in front of 70s, front of 80s, I should say, and then let's see if it can get to that 82. But 82.26 is overhead resistance and it's 317. So if it gets 282, the trail is going to go in. Right now, if we hold above the high, close the bar above the high, I move the trail from, well, I've already moved it from here to here. I'd then move the trail to 81.5, which would be break even. But that's if we close above the current high. AMD broke and is just sort of sitting right there. So we're into one new one. Palantir, it's rocking right now. Let's see how far it can go. The market, by the way, also at the high of the day, not going to hurt either. No shorts this afternoon.
We've doubled our net. I mean, it's going. There goes TQQs. We just got 84s right there. Well, 83.95s or 92s right there. 94s. So there it goes. And NVIDIA, so we have 100 handles right here off of that. And as Neil and we had both sort of been mentioning here today, as we both have, or you're out of NVIDIA, but we both had this trade. So a lot of talk about NVIDIA. There goes NVIDIA now, $2 in the money as we go higher and higher on that one. Let's check out Tesla, see what's going on there. Obviously, we got out there at 404. This was $18. So this is the kind of, like when I'm saying that we're having a good week, it's pretty good. We're going to top it off here. It's 320 right now. So we still have about 40 minutes until the close, and then we wait. Dara, myself, and Sharif will be on the closing show where we'll have the recap going, and we'll look for Apple earnings, which Dara just did the little recap note for us. Yeah, Apple expected at 4:30. I got a dentist appointment right next door at 5. So you're going to have to wait, dentist. We're here until that report drops.
They're not like
Sorry about that, Sharif and Adara.
No, like Apple is on time.
They're. I mean, for my dentist's sake, it better be. Yeah. And then right there, Intel, although they'll probably get billed no matter what. Intel right away at 4 o'clock. Intel's expected. Let's go over to Intel quickly. Intel's expectation for this. I'm long Intel basically right here. The day that we did the the president's
The half-day thing.
Yeah, Carter's half day.
Whatever we call it.
I was gonna say funeral. I guess maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know it was a day of
Memorial.
They call it Memorial. Perfect. So that day we talked about Intel. I bought it the next morning off basically market on open. I think it was around 20. It might have been 1980 or so. Intel's really hasn't done anything. We did have a nice move up there on Intel into $22. We did not sell. I thought I looked over there and saw Randy. I know he's not even here today. I was like, what am I thinking? But there it is, $22. So yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Remember we were talking about like it's seen 19 just over and over and over again. We had a joke about 21, but at the end of the day, that's a real slippery play. I don't like being in this one heading into earnings when it looks like this. I don't think it's set up, but it's such a low price.
How much further could it possibly go? Which, you know
just
what,
said how much
actually,
further can it possibly go?
The funny thing is,
lot?
That's one of the, I know I just said it, but that's one of the dumbest things you can ever say on a downward trending stock. Because pull up a chart of Mullen, pull up a chart of Nikola.
Why don't we go to Adara and we'll get that?
Yeah, go to Adara.
I know that she has something.
So we have a couple,
like,
I think it's kind of interesting here, just worth noting, I'm seeing some reports from the Wall Street Journal saying that both Apple and Amazon apparently have had discussions with regards to testing ads on X. So Apple apparently in discussions to test ads on X, but then we have Amazon, AMZN, which apparently has actually raised its ad spending on X. So Amazon increasing its X ad spending, Apple apparently talking about putting ads on X in the first place. So either way, keep an eye on these Mag 7 names when it comes to their X spending. Interesting stuff with regards to X ads, guys. Back to you.
Amazon's not going to move on that, and X isn't public, unfortunately. No, so
They will be.
No, so yeah, eventually. I think maybe give it a couple.
Elon will
give it a
bring it
couple
back
of
for
years.
double what he paid.
Give it a couple of years. But no, let me finish the thought there. I think Intel at this point is a good risk to reward based on that low, because if they announce a CEO and it's not terrible, then I think it moves. I think you probably get 10 points just on that alone, and they're going to announce one soon. They're going to figure that out. So I think it's more of a risk to reward thing. Of course, it could go lower. You know, we say things, and it was a good point in the chat made a couple of weeks ago. Sometimes we will kind of like say something a little bit jokingly, and it gets taken literally. I don't literally mean Intel's not going to go any lower. You should load up in it. I just think from here the risk to reward does look good for the long, because they have one lever they can pull that gives you a good bounce. So pounds here still on target as it's right through. We're trying to get back into 82s here. It just tagged the high of the day. Let's see how far it wants to go in here. But the other one, so Palantir is going. It just broke that high, but AMD is basically going sideways now. So at this point, when you make a break and it doesn't go, come to my chart for a second. Stop is moved. Tighten the stop. And then instead of giving it to there, if it's not going, give it the tight stop. That's what it's all about. Like, you got to be able to adjust to it. There's always a chance it continues, so I'm not going to get out of the trade because it's flat, but I am going to give it less room. Like, I want that on a breakout trade to go right away. And there's also only now, like 20 minutes until we get the imbalances. Rather be in the one that wants to continue. Okay, well, complain about it, and then it starts to go. I guess that's what you got to do.
That is the key.
No, that doesn't make any sense. There's a dude who used to like hit the screen, like you tap his screen. You can't see me doing it because
that person has problems.
You know who it was?
I know who it was. I'm just joking.
I used to mock him all the time when he did it too.
Yeah. Well, we used to talk about that. It's the same thing as like if Adara's wearing green or red or whatever.
No, he'd tap it up if he wanted the stock to go up, and he'd tap the top of his screen if he wanted the stock to go down.
Yeah. It's like me, like pointing like this, like, okay, here we go. Come over to my screen. It's like doing that. It's like, okay, let's go 29s, let's go 29s, let's go 29, and then there's 29s. But by the way, yeah, good point there. We all have our little quirks, obviously, as you can see. And for us, we don't have too many quirks other than stuff like that. And there it goes, man. Neil, we started this day flat. Right? We came in here at 2 p.m. flat. All right? NVIDIA is 225 in the money. The Qs are 110 handles in the money. And there we go. It's two trades. It's long. And I thought it made sense to me to go long. And again, let's just think about the reasons. I think Apple's going to beat. We talked about that. So we wanted the long. We were above VWAP. Sometimes you have to kind of go with, and we talked about the spidey sense and stuff like that. You have to go with the gut, and you have to sort of say, I'm thinking one way. And we did that, and it just worked out. You know, some days it's not going to. We talk about that all the time as well, that some days can be rougher than others. This week, today, so far, knock on wood, it's been a great week. So we'll just continue to go there. You added more NVIDIA, Elon. Great trade there. People want to look. Yeah, so there's so much moving, by the way. I see some people talking about VST must be
Let's
New York.
go, VST.
Yeah, VST 175. GE as well there, GV. Back up to the upside I saw today. We saw SMR. This is day high right here. And this is what I mean. Like
Constellation too.
Oh, that's still. See, I type in SMR and the chart doesn't go. Okay, so SMR pulled back a little bit.
What the heck, SMR?
It's still there. Well, same percentage as CG there. And then I didn't, did you look at Vernova there?
No, I already looked at G Vernova.
Right,
and then we got a super chat about
is that?
Vistra, which we
Vernova
like.
9%. Yeah, they're all up like 7, 9, 15.
It's the same recovery play. Like it's, look, man, if NVIDIA is going to bounce after DeepSeek, whatever we're calling that day, then those are going to bounce too. Like that's actually, those were worse on
deep
that day
opportunity.
Than, yeah, the deep buying opportunity. Those were actually worse, the nuclear utility type names. But Verona's back, Vernova's back up. I always say Verona. It's Vernova, GE Vernova.
Sure.
And then that's exactly why I say it. So thank you, Volcan, in there. Some hours ago, we checked Vistra. For the record, in our little, in the Jimmy Carter Memorial Day, my pick was GE Verona. I guess Vistra is a little bit better, but you know, whatever. Constellation's a very similar chart as well.
It's nice they battled back.
I couldn't decide between the three, and I own GE Vernova in my own account. So I just kind of went with the one that I already owned. But it doesn't matter. They're all to the upside. I would have liked to see the reason why I said, oh no, SMR was the fact that I am expecting when those nuclear related names go up, that SMR does the outsized move to the upside. Like I want it moving more. No, I just want it moving more than this quote unquote safe play. Like the safe play shouldn't be up as much as the parabolic play. Right? Like I expect, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I want to get double digits when GE Vernova is up 7%. SMR, I want to see it up 10,
GE Vernova has like Palantir vibes to it. I think that one's going to be a good trade.
But they're all the same thing though. I don't think it doesn't matter what you own. So just very quickly in here, guys, I complained about it. I tapped the screen. It didn't matter. I tightened the stop. You're going to get the 10 cents out. I'm out of AMD. It's not really moving. I've also pulled away from any idea that AVGO is going to go again. Like it was the first thing we did when we came back in at 12, 2. And look, it made its move and it seems like it's done. Like look at it. It just doesn't seem like it wants to go anymore. So we pivoted from here to NVIDIA to AMD. NVIDIA's continued. AVGO basically gave you scalp 50 cents, $1, $2, and I think it's about to break the low. So as strong as Broadcom is, it might be breaking this local bottom with only about 30 minutes to go. We're going to stick with Palantir, be able to hold on to that. I just saw in the chat, like, where are the sellers? You tell me. Microsoft, maybe? Like, if you're looking for weakness, even Microsoft has stopped going down at this point. So, like, I don't think you want to fight the market unless you get a really, really good setup that's like a 10 out of 10 here. So I'm not really seeing anything like that to the south side right now. Danny's saying, could Apple possibly dump on earnings like Microsoft? Look, anything is possible. I'm inclined to, I'm not thinking Apple's going to dump because it already did that high pullback 260 to 220. So I feel like it did the damage already. But though, even if it does, I like this 220 in the 200 period moving average. Now, candidly, I've already bought at this price. So I'm not, it dumps down there. I'm not buying it again. I just sort of already did it last week. So I tend to think it should be better off than Microsoft. Microsoft, I was concerned with from the get-go in this earnings season. And even then, it hasn't broken down completely. All it did is retrace to the bottom of the range. If that's the worst that's going to happen, I think you're looking pretty good. But I just don't think it's going to be that much of a problem here in Apple. That's all. I bought more recently. I don't intend on selling it. If it was a trade, maybe I would have banked some at the 50 period on Apple. But I'm holding that forever, and I think they'll do fine tonight. I just actually think that the volatility might not be as great as you'd expect. Intel is going to be more volatile, in my opinion.
Over to the desk with it.
Yes. You said that.
We're going to do a quick news throw here. Benson Hill, BHIL, is actually up here about 60%. This is a small cap. We're talking about a market cap here of around $17 million, float of 3.4 million shares. This actually just started moving here around 3, basically announcing some positive results here from a controlled broiler feeding trial conducted with Tyson Foods, or TSN, so keep an eye on that one. But also, while we're here, I'm going to do a quick little sector watch. because I think it's worth noting here. I like to look at some of these names that are underperforming or outperforming the market. Given that the Nasdaq's up about 0.75% right now in year-to-date highs, what are some tickers that are actually really underperforming and not doing that well? Shocker, they're all earnings names, and all the tickers happen to start with the letter C, which is an interesting little coincidence. So we're going to go over these right now, starting with Comcast. So Comcast here, down pretty significantly on the day, down about 12%. So is Charter, CHTR, another communications name, which actually reports tomorrow morning. But basically, Comcast here having adjusted earnings per share beat. They beat on sales. They also here announced that their Peacock subscriptions are up about 29% year over year. They raised their dividend regardless. We did not have investors be a fan, so CMCSA to the downside. Then we have Caterpillar. Caterpillar, a little bit of a weaker report here. They did have an EPS beat here, 514 versus 499 expected, but sales a little bit of a miss, and their revenue did actually fall by 3%, driven by a $3.5 billion drop in sales volume, and that was for the fiscal year 2024. So drop there in fiscal year sales. Last but not least, Cigna, CI. This name is in the insurance space, which you know has been pretty beaten up since the shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, which led to some negative sentiments about the industry. Basically, they did miss on sale, or they missed on EPS, they beat on sales, and they had much lower than expected guidance for adjusted earnings per share. So that's the deal with CI, CMCSA, and CAT. And with that, turn you back to the guys.
So a couple of things. I love Caterpillar. Oh, we're going to trail out very quickly here. Trend in, trend out. Before I talk about Caterpillar, trend in, trend out. Double top, maybe even 3 times you tested the high here on Palantir, and then you got the bottoming wick, threw in the trend, it broke the trend, they're going to jump out of the trade. This is mostly the reason why I'd always rather take a shot in here or in here than take the breakout this late in the day. So we're going to stay on target there. I still like Caterpillar, but you got a lot going on with them. Make a lot of money in China, and China's not building like they used to. And if you're spending less on data centers, then Caterpillar was building them, so that's another ding that they're going to get from the market. But yeah, I recently bought Caterpillar, I wasn't that recently, but I'm certainly looking to maybe add to it. And Fox XX also made a bit of a move to the downside. The other one I was going to say, that's what it was. It was John Deere. They're not the same thing, but a lot of people like to group them together. Load. I should have put in the stock before I started talking about it. No one was going to take a heartbeat. But Deere, on the other hand, because some people like to compare these, not a chart that we usually look at, but that's pretty gorgeous, and it's a consolidation over the prior high. That's a bull flag, or it's just good. And John Deere looks like it's poised to break out that top. And what makes it even better is it tested the bottom of that consolidation today, and it's right back at the top. So yeah, right now, Deere looking better on the chart than Caterpillar, although Caterpillar is the one I own.
Okay, so just quickly there. Yeah, I like Caterpillar. That's a name that I want to get into. I want to get into the industrials. That's it for sure.
And Rohit, I did buy Lockheed. I just decided.
Ooh, yeah.
I did buy some.
Yeah, that was a good one. We talked about that yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good call for sure. I like Lockheed as well. Okay, so just real quickly here as we continue on for the day. NVIDIA, we got some out there at 123.30s or 40s or something, and then it just dripped down. We got another piece out underneath 123, just right there as it broke. So we're getting lighter and lighter now on this trade to the point where we have 5% left. All right, TQs, same kind of ways there. It dropped back down below. I took another piece out. This one's a little bit different. No, it's not. We have 5%. So there it is, man. We just have only 5% on both of these stocks that are left now. We're trying to wrap this up into Apple earnings. Let's see what happens here. Yesterday, we looked into the close, and I think it was I can just look them up right now to see if anything happened yesterday into the close. So let's just have a quick look. So yesterday, Apple into the close upside. Doesn't matter, they didn't report. What I'm trying to get at is, what were the names that reported yesterday doing into yesterday's close? So Meta, again, look at that. Big sell and balance candle came through. Nice move. Whoa, nice move to the downside here on Meta. There, okay, we just have to watch out for this position. NVIDIA might be a little drippy here into the close. 193 just lost it there on NVDA. Oops, that's still Meta. Let's go back over to it. Yeah, right there. So I just want to be able to watch that. We'll do that little review in a minute there on the market. But for right now, I just wanted to see what did Meta do? What did Tesla do? Let's see what Tesla did into the close yesterday. And Tesla tanked, right? First on report. Yeah, no. What was this? Yeah, this was the report. Yeah, so downside move. So into the close yesterday, Tesla really didn't do anything. And then report came and whoosh to the downside. Microsoft yesterday into the close. What did that do? Into the close yesterday. So yeah, Microsoft actually was coming in all afternoon, and then this, and then this. So right now today, maybe we can watch out. You're not on Intel, so let me just have a quick check on this real quickly. So into the close. Not doing anything, if anything, heading down, but I would say nothing. And then Apple into the close here today. We still have half hour, but not much. So we'll see. The other name that's on a lot of people's minds, probably Visa. Visa always has a buy or sell imbalance, so we got to take that also with the grain of salt on that one. But Visa right there, not doing too much. And then let's have a look at the imbalance, and then I'll throw it back over to Neil. I don't even, where are my imbalances? Oh, my balance locators are closed. Oh, no, that's not right.
Here
Here it is right here. So energy transfer, yeah, I don't even see. Ooh, TD, 1,000K?
Huh?
Okay, I guess it's just gotta round up right there, and we'll get that going. So
We got to have a talk with the quarters about
right
that
there.
one.
When do you want me to do said ad read review?
You can't put 1,000K.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go over NVIDIA 230. The Qs are right there as well. Not much else on my mind right here, but other than the fact that, you know, we continue to look at our charts. XLI. You talked about Caterpillar. I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. This would be, again, if you're talking about John Deere or you're talking about something else, you have to watch out XLI. You know, the industrial ETF, that's just bouncing right now off the 50-period moving average. This, of course, is the e-signal platform. You know, look at the 200 period. If it bounces off that, that's a good little look right there, right now. And you can find a lot of these. What I use here is I use an alert right there from eSignal, and I also use this hot list as well for eSignal. And if you actually scan that QR code right there on your screen, you too can enjoy eSignal. And then one of the best parts about it is, similar to what we're doing right now, live on air, we have our first month free. It is free right now on eSignal, only if you scan that QR code. I've never even heard of this kind of a deal before with this kind of a high quality name. eSignal right there. Go grab it. Once you do, you will not be disappointed. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite experience. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. The platform is eSignal. Instant trading, lightning fast market insights. We just talked about the game-changing alerts that come through, back testing, execute your best trades. Joe and Sharif on the midday are showing some highlights of the platform as well. Neil highlighted the hot list popping through. It's so far so good. It's just really reliable. And the other thing too is like, if Neil and I want to start to trade, I don't know, a happy Lunar New Year to by the way as well.
Right.
If you're trying to trade Hang Seng or any of these, the Japanese market or anything, it's all entitlement based. So you can actually pay that extra bit, pay the entitlement, and get any market, I don't want to say any market, I mean, but any market I've ever requested, anything in Europe, anything here in Toronto, you can get the Venture Exchange, CBOE Canada, anything you want available on eSignal. I think that's the big thing because—
And the imbalance locator.
And they have an imbalance locator, actually, on eSignal. I don't want to show it because I don't know if I'm entitled for the imbalance locator on eSignal.
Yeah, because we don't. We wouldn't need it on these. We wouldn't need the imbalance locator on eSignal because we have it automatically in our system, like what we show you. But I mean, obviously, we show it to you every single day. But it's a good resource to have. You can watch it in real time. There's a couple of index actions today. So this OKE that's 2 million. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a share increase and on one index and a share delete on another. Those can be a little bit tricky. So I'm staying away. It's 2 million to the buy side, but I'd stay away from that. But we'll see what comes out. This hurts my brain seeing 1,000K. It needs to be coded back to 1 million. We all know what it means, but it just bugs me. No, speaking about the hot list, I actually ignored this on the hot list when I was looking at the price, which is silly because you should always pull it up if something is going absolutely ham. CLEU. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you like trends, this one, okay, so you have a halt down, then you have it halt up, 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 right into VWAP, and then look at the rollover when it fails. And this failure is at like 89, underneath the dollar, right? And it's right at VWAP as well. So this one certainly stands out. And again, ignoring, this is me, I ignored it. I saw it pop up on the hot list, which I just started using. And probably not going to do that again. That's the idea is that you pull up the stock, if it's on your list, you pull it up, you see if there's something going on. But I just looked over, a bunch of things just fell because, whoa, what did they say about? Yeah, Palantir just really accelerated to the downside, and then I just heard something about GM in my ear. Oh, 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. Yeah, good luck negotiating out of that one, Dougie.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew about that, so you're going to see...
That's rough on GM.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not surprised about that, but it looks like, I mean, Trump, I guess, is going to be the man of his word, to be honest with you. I mean, he had said now for weeks and weeks and weeks that this would come through.
Canada's going to give him what he wants, and it's not going to happen for very long if it does.
Yeah, I don't know. We just heard that as well. So there it goes right now for Canada. And look, we knew that was going to happen. So you want to look at, I don't know, we can look at like Canadian banks maybe to have a quick look. I don't know if it's a bank related. Ooh. Yeah, TD Bank down nicely right here. There's going to be definitely some shrapnel here happening. So we'll check out. I'm not seeing, I mean, other than the hot list right now,
Ford probably dropped too.
Amazon, Nvidia, Palantir, just basically all the names that have nothing to do with Canada. But we'll wait to see here what's going on as the futures have pulled right back. And this is why you scalp out, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about having 5% less left on all of these trades. This is why you do it. So when this happens, you're not sort of caught right there. Yeah, Ford, man, down to $10. That stock's ugly and nasty anyways. So we'll figure that out. Well, maybe we'll buy this dip on the TQs and just see if, better heads can prevail right here. We'll buy this dip, 82.50. We're in on the TQQs right there, 82.50. Let's see if we can make this happen now to the upside. And where are we going to get out? So we just we just doubled our position there, or no, a little bit more than that. So we're in at about 10%, a little bit more, 12% or so on that. Let's just play this kind of a
Why is the market dropping on that headline?
That's what I don't understand. 82.20 will get out right now. It looks like it's coming back in right now. What is that bottom? 82. I'm going to wait to 82. I think this is too dramatic. Let's see.
I'm going to look for a little bit of a dip here into support on Palantir because I don't understand what this has to do with a bunch of other things that are pulling back here.
Tesla should pull back because of Mexico, right?
Yeah, Tesla makes some sense. Oh, you kidding me? You guys, I just missed twice on Palantir. Like, look at that bounce back to the upside. Did I hear an update from Dara? It doesn't matter. I'm going to jump into Palantir off of that prior support in the $81 level. Again, you saw Ford, you saw Tesla, you saw GM take the brunt of it, but those make sense to me, 25% tariff, right? Like everything that you don't make, Canada, even the parts for the cars, it's all Canada. Like we send them a bunch of stuff. So if the prices go up, it's harder for them, yada, yada, yada. But that makes no sense why it drove the market down so much. But we just bounced 70 pennies. I only grabbed 30 of it there in Palantir, and it's right back testing the 81. So I'm going to reload it, give it a couple of chances off of this local bottom here on Palantir. I just like Palantir because it was already strong and I was already trading it.
Let's go.
And I don't think this makes that much sense for the rest of these other names.
Look at the futures. The futures starting to go upside right now. We will go to Adara, but look at that. There's the reload, man. Can you take a look at that? We just put on another 50 handles on the futures right now as that's going back to the upside. We just took that live for you right now. Who else going to do this? No one. Adara. All right, she's muted. We'll get her back in just 1 second. But the TQQs just goes through 83. We take some more out. We did not reload NVIDIA, but let's take advantage of this and get another piece out right here at 123. Oh boy, we just topped out our day again on the reload there of the TQQs. So we're now, that's the price we have, 82.50. That's what we bought. We bought 82.50s right there. Nice move to the upside. 50 handles. What's up, A?
So we actually had Apple moving down a bit here with tariffs also ahead of their earnings with that announcement. Again, if you missed it, Donald Trump announcing that he'll be putting 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, which was already basically announced earlier, but apparently now this has been for sure declared. USO, though, a lot of these oil names actually spiking here after this announcement as well. So keep an eye on USO. From what I am seeing, they started moving here after we got that tariff news. So keep an eye on anything oil related because that seems to be strong after this announcement, guys. Back to you.
Yeah,
oil spiking?
Right? That's USO's going up. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. I would have thought almost the other way around. But, oh, no, wait a second. Yeah, oil spiking. Yeah, that makes sense. Because now,
prices,
we may not even send any more to you guys. So we'll wait to see.
I think we will.
We could turn it off. I mean, Trump has literally said he doesn't need Canadian energy. So let's see, I guess. I don't know. This push and pull that's about to happen.
I think deal gets done.
You're going to see. The problem is we don't even have anybody. Like, is Trudeau still acting prime minister? Does anybody know? Like, how can we counter this?
Okay, we're not supposed to, but he's like, yeah, he's acting prime minister, but he's a bit of a lame
hopefully
duck.
there'll be something there. I don't know how and how fast the response comes from Canada on this.
I agree.
All right, so we did not average back.
Wow, we just headed back into the bottom. So I just got taken out of the second long there in Palantir. I guess they do want to sell this one off, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, I can tell you, they're continuing.
Hey, there's that line again.
Okay, fine is okay. I guess I say it more than I thought. It's true, but that's the thing. Like, if it is something you say a lot, you don't realize how much you say it. But no, like, if they want to sell it off, I think maybe let it breathe. Maybe we get a buying opportunity tomorrow off of this. I'm of the opinion that, best way to put this, that this is all going to work out and resolve itself, I think, a little bit quickly when it comes to this tariff thing, at least for regards to Canada. But yeah, we'll see. There's going to be, our election's not going to be for a while. I think that could be the hurdle, if anything, is the fact that we don't have we're not going to have an election for a little bit.
All right, so we, same way as Neil over there. We basically,
all right.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man, because we're, like I say, man, we're doing this every single day, and we appreciate all the love and the support here every single day. So thank you so much to everybody. We did get stopped out there, though, because we're not just, as I said, we're not just going to sit here and talk about, random trades. We're going to talk about the trades that we're in, and I got stopped out right there. So in and out and out. So basically a flat trade. We always try to make a little bit of money, but that one will pretty much be flatted out. We got long at 42s. We got out at 20 on that break right there. It just broke that little bottom candle. But as you can see, I think it's a nothing burger, but again, it's not only because we've already done it. Like we've seen this before. I just think about like just refresh like 2018, 2020, like, the United States, obviously very, very powerful, but we are the largest trading partner. So we're going to find out here what winds up happening with all of this. So interesting times ahead, definitely for the US dollar, for the CAD. We can see what's happening right now with UUP. That is that US dollar bullishness. There it is. Yeah, boom. Good. Look at that.
Look at the gap.
Look at that. Yeah, exactly. The CAD going one way.
So we actually have this in real trading.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, go.
No, yeah. So you can look at USD CAD. That is the real FX chart. Like that's the gap that just happened. So anyone that trades forex,
that's stronger USD, right?
Yeah, like anyone that trades forex, that those types of moves. Good luck with liquidity, right? But at the end of the day. Yeah, look, we'll see how things sussed out. Just to go back over, I took one more crack at Palantir. Essentially, I was taking every single 81 break with 181.20, but the last one got to tens and then immediately started selling again. Like this is getting very heavy. I've tried to pick a name that I didn't think it made a ton of sense why it was going down, but like everything fell there. Like AMD went to the downside. Like pick something you don't think should have been too big of a deal. And it didn't matter. Like, they're all falling. Like, I bet you Broadcom was down. Obviously, Apple probably would be. There's only 2 minutes. I won't take anything else. There's only 2 minutes till the imbalances are going to come out here. Like, Apple dropped $2 on that move. NVIDIA dropped $1. AMD dropped $1. Microsoft dropped $2 right back into the low of the day. So pretty much across the board, they just decided to sell all of that off. Hey, I guess we kind of knew this announcement was coming.
Yeah, that's
like it is what it is.
I tried to buy that dip. Okay,
I'm going to say it every time.
It's 348. Yeah, it is what it is, right, Neil?
No, I'm saying it more on purpose, though. I
don't think you are. All right, so here we. No, but I think you're right on track with the amount you normally do. Okay, here we go. The imbalance is coming out in 2 minutes. All right, so we can go over to some Canadian specific names possibly, as Ford again has deals here and producing cars, obviously, and so there goes GM. We can have a look at Tesla to see how that's being affected there. Yeah, I guess so, right? I mean, we know that there's plants there outside of the United States that are all going to start to face tariffs. And I guess the whole thing is that if we're talking like this, then potentially China, let me see what FXI has been doing right now today, because I guess that 10%, if Donald's, so there it is there too, right? So this is easy. I was saying to Mateo, like, it's awesome because, like, the way you think about trading has really, like, continued, right? Like, for example, on the TQQs, like, we knew to buy that dip. It's just, at the time of day, we got out and like, it ripped up, fine shape, but look at that. Now it's coming right back up. You get a lot of continuation. It's why Broadcom was huge today. Tesla was huge today for me. NVIDIA continues to be huge today. $2 in the money. There's a lot of continuation on a lot of these plays. So again, we'll hold our breath that everything will figure itself out. The NASDAQ obviously gets hit there, and so does the ES. So, all right, we'll go to Neil, and then we'll do the imbalances in Adara.
Yeah, the campus program is back, everybody. So everyone that's interested in trading with Real Trading on the platform that we get, this is for you. It is a free program. It's about putting the time and effort in to a structured program with one-on-one coaching. You go from learning market basics to trading in a simulator to trading in real money, which is what everyone's goal is. And the whole way, you're getting that step-by-step, one-on-one coaching. You want to make sure you scan the QR code in front of you. You can also check out realtrading.com/campus. If you got what it takes and you have passions for the market, I think this is for you. And it's free. And the other thing is, you get a chance to be able to look at the imbalance locator in real time, where NVIDIA just came out of $3 million to the sell side. Intel's $1.4 million sell, but that's not that big notionally. ENLC is 6.5 million, but this is an index action. I think it's being deleted from an index. And OKE is a buy, but no, wait a minute. Yeah, it was a buy coming out, but now it looks like it's going to be gone. So the big one's just NVIDIA, and then this ENLC that you should keep an eye on. 3 million is not a big deal when you've done 317 million shares on NVIDIA have been traded. So it's not like that imbalance is that big of a deal.
No.
Now let's go to Adara.
Speaking here of USO, we mentioned that one got a little bit of a pop initially on tariffs. Then it fell with even greater volume. And that might have had to do with the fact that Donald Trump said he will decide, quote, probably tonight or probably Thursday night here or tonight, whether to impose tariffs on oil in Canada and Mexico. So initially, oil moving higher on the tariff reports. Then when he says he's going to decide on oil tonight, then we get that big spike down in oil. So just beware, USO really volatile after that announcement that Donald Trump will be issuing 25% tariffs for Canada and Mexico, guys. Back to you.
25% is not small.
No, it's not small. That is for sure. We will.
GM's gonna.
Oh man, that's going to be an interesting one. So we take advantage of that imbalance again. We get at some at 123. We actually got a 123.15, and that's where we are right now as we get lighter and lighter on this trade. Let's have a look at what Apple's doing. We have Apple coming. Should be around 4:30. So join us all after. I don't know when it's going to come out. I mean, come out at 4:05. You know, we yesterday Meta's scheduled time. I think was 4:05 or 4:10, and
it was 4:05. It came out at 4:37, maybe.
Yeah. See, so I'm hoping Apple comes out early. I think there's a chance for that. Yeah. So we'll wait to see when Apple comes out. We also have Intel. Apple kind of feeling waves from that. I don't really. Again, the market fell down. I don't think that the tariff thing has really much to do with Apple, as everything's made in China over there. Nothing to do really with Toronto, with Canada, of course. And then the other name that today that most of you will be interested in, of course, is Intel. And Intel, it might be the biggest beneficiary, honestly, because if you're going to look inside the U.S., I mean, Intel has been obviously a very strong U.S. company. And we talked about that. If you invested $1,000 into Intel 25 years ago, you would have $600 now. If you invested $1,000 in NVIDIA 25 years ago, you'd have $2.5 million. So one is a life changer and one is a life destroyer. But Intel at the end, I hope your life doesn't get destroyed on $1,000, but at the end of the day, Intel has a lot to prove. And I think Build Back Better for the U.S. will benefit this name. So we'll have to wait to see if there's any talk about that. A day 2, day 3, day 20 play, it seems like. Starbucks, again, 110. You want to talk about a U.S. company. Starbucks, nice upside move. I thought we would look here because, again, I know they're tariffs, so whatever, but China with Starbucks, obviously there's a lot of business there as well, but that's just domestic business. Nike could be the one that goes to the downside, and there it is right there. So a nice little look on Nike because, again, the importing of those shoes back into the United States from China will get 10% tariff. That's not what was announced. What was announced was Canada. It's just if if sort of the administration is going to stick with what they've been saying and be like men and women of their word, then it happened in it happened for Canada and Mexico. So you can sort of extrapolate that out. And that's why FXI and why we went over there looks like that will be what it is. I think it's just posturing and eventually something will get done. Was there a date Is that Feb 1, Adara? Like, I know
It's
that's
like an enactment.
like, I know that's tomorrow, but I just don't know.
I
Is it
didn't
tomorrow?
hear.
How many
I didn't
days are
hear
in
a
January?
date, but I'm not sure.
31. Okay, so maybe it's right. So we don't know when it's going to be effective for.
Yeah, and he's making more comments too.
He's making more comments?
We have all the lumber we need, and I'm making a determination
see.
on oil tonight. So
Oh, he's making a
he's making a
determination.
determination on oil tonight as to what's yeah.
This is
So
going to be great.
yep. Oh, actually, no, I just saw it here coming Saturday.
Okay,
All right,
Feb
so
1.
reiterates that they're coming Saturday. So it is the beginning of the month, and he'll make a decision on oil tonight. Obviously, that's going to be able to move things. No questions asked. So it just got a little bit more exciting for tomorrow, right? You're going to have the aftermath of Intel and Apple earnings. Now we're going to have the aftermath of tariffs on Canada and Mexico. But obviously, we here care about more Canada.
We're now $3 in the money, by the way. Like, NVIDIA doesn't give two whatevers about what's been happening right here in the, wow, NVIDIA, that 355 bounce up. Joe, man, I don't even know what to say anymore about some of the trading that we've been, this is a 121 long that we took at 2 on the break at 210. In 2 hours, we watched this thing go up $3 for us. We have doubled our net on these plays, not just the futures, obviously, which was huge as well, but this NVIDIA trade, we weren't even in NVIDIA before this trade today, or were we? No. And NVIDIA is now P&L number 1 for me. Like, we had an $18 winner on Tesla. We had a $6, $7 winner on UPS. We had the IBIT break. We had so Broadcom is going to be my number 2 stock today, just on this little fooling around here in the morning. So that's going to be a big one. I feel like we did a good job. We made the same money on UPS that we made on Tesla, that we made on Broadcom, and we made a little bit less on IBIT, but it's NVIDIA. We're hearing right now with Nucor going as well. Man, this is going to be like, there it goes, upside as, again, steel, right? I mean, this is a U.S. steel producer, so.
U.S. Steel reports, doesn't it?
And U.S. Steel reports. Wow, okay, what's going on with X then right now?
Hold on a second. Let me just
X.NY.
I could be speaking out of turn there.
No, they do report. No,
They do?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, they do reports
on our
Yeah,
account.
I just didn't want to make sure we got it right.
All right, I'm going to.
All right, I'm not going to take.
I'm going to go get some water and sun.
All right, I was kind of so I was geared up potentially for this ENLC, which was the gigantic buy imbalance, the 6 million buy imbalance. If it had flipped and maybe gone sell, it was looking the other direction because on our notes it was supposed to be a sell. With it being a buy, there won't be a trade for me on it. But I was kind of like I saw it, I got a little bit excited because it was going into the top on what's supposed to be in the other direction. So it was supposed to be a sell. I'm like, it's going into the high. I was going to short it. Maybe it would flip. But it's now 3 minutes to go, and it's still a massive buy and balance. So I'm not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. U.S. Steel is reporting tonight. And obviously, it's starting out with a good spike. Remember, I'd rather look at Nucor. U.S. Steel has that deal overhang going on with it. So that's going to be able to be – it's going to put a limit on the upside. And, yeah, it's just too tricky because you have to worry about the deal dynamics and all the merger arb people in there. Nucor, for sure. We're talking about this one. Should have bought it. Definitely should have bought it. And for I need money. I need money. I love I need money. No, the imbalance on NVIDIA is now okay. Wherever it is, I don't see it anymore at all. So it's got to be less than half a million shares by now. There was an imbalance, and now IBIT just showed up for like 1.3 million to the upside here on IBIT. But wow, this is actually getting bigger. I'm glad we didn't short this on ENLC. 9 million to the buy side when we're expecting it to be a bit of a sell. So we'll see what happens. It's not an imbalance play. It's just a buy the dip sort of play, it looks like. Because the second, and this has actually been happening at 55, as Sean was mentioning, like regardless of where NVIDIA's imbalance is, if it's a sell, it's pairing. If it's a buy, it's kind of holding. And then at 55, you get that bit of a reversion. So less than 2 minutes to go, everybody. Scarjo Rabbit, that's a good one. Canadian Weed. I think the reaction is probably going to be a little bit overblown. This is negotiation. Deals will get made. I think if you're looking at, like if I was a shareholder of GM, the fact they're already buying it up, I wouldn't be that concerned. I'd be more concerned if it doesn't hold this 200 period moving average on General Motors. This has been the best U.S. non-Tesla car company, obviously, in terms of performance. So I'd be concerned if we lose the 200 period on GM, probably worth a short at that point. But you can see they just bought it right up. right off the buy at 48, right off the 200 period moving average. That would have been an opportunity for you there. Less than 1 minute to go, everybody. Remember, it's not right away on Apple, but Intel usually reports shortly after the bell. I think what you want to look for is to see if they might not have impressive earnings. You want to see what is going on with the CEO search. Ideally, they name somebody or say that we're getting close, or we have an announcement that we're going to name somebody. That would be a big deal. And for Amy Tiger, we have some videos explaining the imbalance locator. So rather than try to explain it to you in 25 seconds or just rushing it, you can always check out some of our older videos on the imbalance locator and then remind us tomorrow. And then when things slow down, we'll definitely be able to go over kind of the nuts and bolts of what you're getting on the imbalance locator, what it's telling you and what you can do with it. But I don't want to rush through. We've done it a few times, and we don't mind doing it again. It's just we're a little short on time here. As we have less than 10 seconds to get the camera off me, throw it on to Adara because ring it in 2 and 1. Let's go. So the market's closed. Intel is supposed to come out relatively quickly. They're right after the bell here. So thank you to everybody. Appreciate everybody and appreciate the chat. Thank you so much to Fabian Ramin on the 1s and 2s. Reminder, of course, you got the killer lineup today. You're going to have not just Sean and Adara, also Sharif, just like yesterday. I know it was a lot of fun yesterday. It's going to be the same thing again today, taking you through all the earnings. Get your questions ready. Intel, I see it not really moving, so obviously it's not out right away. Big shout out to the Bash Brothers. Thank you so much for everything you do. Big shout out to Bears versus Bulls. But it's ready to go. You got Apple earnings, you've got Intel earnings, you've got the reaction to obviously this tariff announcement, and let's see what happens to GM and Ford. Let's go on over to the desk. It's your market recap, and it starts now.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be a great recap show one more time here today as we wait for Intel. We've got Intel up right now. If anything happens, oops, it's out right now. There goes Intel. Nice little move right there. Nice little move to the upside of $20.40. Uh-oh, whoops. Nice move to the downside right there. Intel reports fourth quarter earnings right now. We're going to find out what's going on. 13 cents. They got 13 cents right there. It's a penny beat on Intel right now. Downside, though, as we continue to make that move down. Who else going to show you live level 2s? Sharif? Nobody. Right here. So here goes the live level 2 right now. It is $20. There goes Intel. Nice move to the upside right now. Oh boy. Not much going on. $19.25 there. Upside to $20 here as we go with Intel. We'll get those numbers coming through to you. You got them right now.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Let's go, Sharif.
You can go to my screen. Fourth quarter revenue was $14.3 billion, down 7% year over year. The full year revenue was $53.1 billion. That's down 2% year over year. Fourth quarter earnings, EPS, in other words, guys, attributable, was negative 3 cents. Keeping a look here. Previously, it was attributable at $4.38. Forecasting, so the guide now forward, they're forecasting 2025 revenue for the first quarter of $11.7 billion to $12.7 billion, expecting first quarter EPS to be about negative 27 cents, and non-GAAP EPS attributable to flat, 0.00. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Looks flat, Sean. I mean, down 0.25% on the day, below $20, zigging, zagging, up to 20.50. At the low here, about 19 and change, Sean.
Yeah, good call. All right, the implied move with Intel is going to be a little disappointing because it was over 10%. So the options were planning out for a 10% move. Looks like it's going to be temporarily a nothing burger. All right, there's more coming out right now. So Intel's out right now. FANG is also out. FANG. We're going to go over, maybe we'll flip over back to the eSignal platform just so we can, the Trade Ideas platform. All right, so there's FANG not really moving at all. Let me just get that back up for INTC. Intel right now starting to fall back in just a little bit. So I want to thank all 7,000 of you watching right now. We're going to get some more coming through very, very soon. And here's everybody right now. Hit the like and the subscribe as Intel. I just saw Intel going down. Now Intel going up. It's going to be disappointing, Sharif, because it's not 10%. No. The numbers are out. They're going to go over them. We'll see if we can get this all figured out. 11.7 billion there versus 12.87, so it's a little lower. Non-GAAP. We'll get all this. You already went over it. We'll figure out what's going on now with Intel. Apple, if you're here for Apple, you're going to have to wait. Not much happening right now on AAPL. I'm just going to load up. Where's my trade ideas? I want
Sean,
to get
I'll
back.
just do a
go ahead.
comparison real
Go.
quick here of what we were expecting, Sean, versus what we actually got. So we were looking at earnings per share of 12 cents. That's what the street was looking for. We actually ended up getting 13 cents. So it's a minor beat there. Now, with respect to expected revenue, Sean, 13.8 billion was what we were looking for. Before the report, we got 14.3, so another beat there. It's really going to come down to the guide, Sean, as well as that earnings call, because we're waiting for a CEO. We got two co-CEOs right now on an interim basis. We don't know who's going to be at the helm of this company.
As long as you don't accept the position, we're going to right here because we need you right here, my guy. All right, we got Adara over at the screen with some stuff on Intel.
Speaking of new CEOs here, the former CEO is this individual. His name is Pat Gelsinger, and this graphic, which you can find on X at TTV Research, really summarizes his entire era. He was CEO for a very brief period of time, starting Q1 2021, ending Q3 2024. This graphic really shows the decline here in revenue. It's the top line, and GAAP earnings per share, which is the bottom line. But I think what's really interesting is the level of disconnect that you'd find in his earnings comments versus the actual numbers. So for Q1 2023, Intel's revenue dropped 36% year over year. Its earnings per share dropped 109% year over year. And Pat Gelsinger said they delivered, quote, a solid first quarter. So I think there's a lot of disconnect there. I think it's pretty evident. But either way, Pat Gelsinger started his relationship with the company in 1979, so he was definitely a staple with INTC. Regardless, he has left the company. And this quarter that was just reported would be his last company when he was at that, or last quarter while he was at the helm, guys.
There, we'll see. Bye-bye, Patty Ice. And we'll see what winds up happening from that. Shout out to the original Patty Ice. Who was right here on.
Hi, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you for that message. I actually mentioned him on the show as well.
Sure.
So shout out to everybody over there. Okay, we got Dropbox earnings as well. Let's just go over some different names. So there's Dropbox right now not doing anything. DBX, I was just telling you that came out. Zoom to release fourth quarter results coming up. Not today, but I just got that in there as well. You know what? To be honest with you, there's not a whole bunch of earnings happening right now.
Nope.
But look what's going on in the market. Like FXI today up 2.5%. Let's just go over and drop down a 3-minute chart. When and if we get more earnings, we'll bring them to you immediately. We're waiting for Deckers. We're waiting for Visa.
Yep.
Visa's expected 266. So when that comes out, that's the EPS expectation with revenue of 943. But FXI today, look at this move to the upside right here as we get
Visa.
Good confirmation from Alibaba and whatnot. We have Visa right now, so let's go over $2.75 there for Visa. That's a beat of 266. So it looks like they beat on that, but we'll have to wait to see what's going on because for right now, temporary move to the downside right there for Visa. Now dancing right here. We'll get those numbers for you immediately. We also had Deckers come through as well. Uh-oh, Deckers. I don't know if you have that number, DECK.
Looking.
Deckers right now to the downside. There it is right now, just coming out now. Yeah, it looks like we got gap of 3 beating 255. Sales a beat, so it must be Shreve. I don't know if you have the guide.
I got it.
That must be what's low right now because Deckers outdoors taken outdoors, it looks like, down there, down to 198. Let's have a look at what this looks like on the daily chart. Oh boy.
Not sure why this is going down, Shaw. Full year 2025 revenue growth guidance raised to approximately 15%. That's not pleasing the street right now. Full year 2025 diluted EPS guidance range to the range of $5.75 to $5.80. That was above the guide. So not really understanding why this is dropping. Not really familiar with the company though, Sean.
Okay, I was going to say right here, if we look at this name, you're coming right back into the 50-period moving average. This is where we are right now. Could be a buying opportunity on support for Deckers, outdoor, nice little move there. And just if you want to know what they're involved in, of course, distributing footwear. Oh, they have Uggs.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
UGG brand, other direct-to-consumer brands there. Teva is there. Hoka brand. Okay, so again, this is Nike competitor right now, Deckers with Hoka. So we'll find out what's going on right there. Deckers got decked. Okay, I can go with that right there in the chat. Let's see what Visa's doing. I mean, I'm paying mine on time. I don't know if many other people are, but right there goes Visa. Hey, I don't want to suffer that 28% or whatever they're charging.
Hideous.
That is absolutely ridiculous. But there goes Visa. Kind of a nothing burger to that level, but we already seen where Visa had been. They're just, honestly, these names, we hit it with AXP. AXP was down actually on their earnings report. We said just go over, watch out for Visa, watch out for MasterCard, and you could see the difference. Look at AXP here. AXP was dancing around. Actually, they're kind of back up. There's the miss though. You can see on the green, on the yellow line. I almost said green line. I was looking at green and red all day. There it is right there. Dip down on earnings and a nice little move back up for AXP. It's brethren, MasterCard, nice upside move there today, starting to go well, but but Visa right now holding out for it. But you know what? People are like, you know what? These are nice. Let's go back to Intel. High of the day right now, trying to go through this 2050 area. So let's just talk about this maybe as a day trade for Intel. 3-minute chart. We're already through it. So there it goes, blasting up these levels. You could probably trade this thing back to 20 bucks. If it breaks, I'd get out. Again, the numbers on Intel, trading higher on better than expected Q4 financial results. So there it goes, Intel nicely done to the upside. We've already gone over the exact numbers. Team is actually out as well. We had this last time. There are some traders that don't mind Team. This is Atlassian right now. Look at this move upside. Big move, man. 268 up to 320. Wow. These guys beat 96 cents versus 76 cents. Sales 129 versus 124. Team, a nice move there to the upside. Again, collaboration and productivity software. So akin to maybe a CRM as well. Look at CRM.
That's reporting.
I always like whenever it makes me look smart and I get something right. So there it goes right there. CRM to the upside again. A little bit of a shrapnel play there from Team. So that's a nice one upside again. So we'll still wait on Apple. Yeah. Right. So what Apple's earnings are right now, and I'm ready to go to Adair if she's ready. If we want to talk a little bit about Apple, because Apple right now on everybody's mind, Adair.
I have a plethora of Apple graphics, not to worry, Sean, but right now, just because I'm trying to do these in order of the reports, we started with Intel, then we had Visa. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting because both Visa and MasterCard reported today. MasterCard reported in the morning, and then Visa, of course, just released their report. And they both also have at this point reported Q4 2024 earnings because Visa, the report they just dropped is actually Q1 25. So regardless, I wanted to look at this, the last 20 years of their revenue. And you can see here, they're pretty much in lockstep, which is fascinating. At the start of this graphic, around 2005 to 2007, MasterCard actually usurps Visa in terms of revenue. But then Visa takes the crown, continuing to push higher. And you find the years where they have the dips, they're going to be the same years. They both dip in 2020. It makes sense. There's a little bit of a decrease in consumer spending because we have the pandemic, but then they both continue to rise. So I found it really interesting. This just really shows that these consumer trends are happening regardless of what specific brand you're using. Visa, MasterCard, both here to the upside when you look at this revenue chart, guys.
Yeah, interesting look here, Sean, with respect to Visa. Let's compare how they did versus what the expectations were. So we said 275 beat. The street was looking for 266 in terms of EPS. Sales, 9.51, beating the street's estimate of 9.34. But, Sean, we know that the government is looking at Visa. They are looking at Visa, MasterCard. They call them an oligopoly. They don't like how they're charging high rates to consumers. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance have spoken about this openly. They want the rates to come down.
I mean, Donald's, he literally said that, what a mistake. They're going to create more inflation. And of course, Donald Trump knows everything about everything. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening right there. What a wild day for the NASDAQ, talking about everything here. It kicks off with big earnings, right? We had Tesla, we had Microsoft, we had Meta. You guys killed that after show yesterday. It was really, really great. Back and forth all day. The Qs hit this bottom, then take off. Then look at this chart. Look at what happened when the tariffs came through on Canada. 25% announced to take forth February 1st, which is a Saturday. We saw names like Ford get to the downside on that. We saw names like GM get to the downside on that. And then FXI, which we already talked about. Again, if he's holding his word on Canada, may be true also for China. We'll watch out for that 10%. I'm not sure that's a big deal. Tesla today, we weren't in love with the report, but we were in love with the fact that there was a lot of energy behind the name and that it continues to work. But traders said no to Tesla early. It fell all the way back in. But the best thing about this is the capabilities of zooming back out. Looky what we found. We did this today. This is how we got that $18 winner. Tesla fell right back into support. It was bought back up there at 388. I just feel that if you are a Tesla bull, you want to look at that. The quarter is now behind us. It definitely bounced off of that 388. So barring any other news, it's not only that, but it didn't really go down too much there. We had talked about that move on the tariffs. There's that Mexico move. Look, it shed $4 on 400. I'm not sure that that's the end of the world there. So we'll wait to see what happens. And I don't know the percentage of cars that are driven in the U.S. that are actually produced in Mexico.
That's a good question. I don't have the number
so
for that.
We can find that out, I'm sure, on Tesla. Oh, here we go. Look at this interesting vote here. For everybody that's joining us right now, I've already said this. I mean, I want to live in LA, but I do like Miami. So we'll vote for LA, Miami, New York, LA, and other.
I hit other because I want to live in Texas, Sean. That's where I would.
Okay. You want to support the Cowboys over there? I was going to say, what about Dubai? I mean, that would classify as others. So we say, what's up to that? Or Saudi Arabia, maybe?
Low taxes, baby.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, wherever there's no taxes. Yeah, I want to live there.
Sean, I want to mention as well, we got X coming out at 4:15. Another name that's been discussed heavily in the news, obviously with Nippon Steel wanting to pick that up, being blocked by Joe Biden, echoed the same sentiment by Donald Trump. Here's what we're expecting in terms of X. We're expecting EPS to be negative 26 pennies with, believe it or not, 138.8% decline year over year in EPS. Same thing with revenue. We're looking for $3.25 billion in revenue, which is expected to be down 21.7% year over year. But I got to tell you, they've beaten EPS estimates 88% of the time in the past 2 years, which is a good look. Analysts expect a weak fourth quarter, Sean, due to declining earnings and revenue forecasts as well. So, look for X.
Yeah, great news there. We saw that move. We do have that buyout there happening for X, or in focus right now. All right, again, Apple. Let's go over to Adara and see a graphic.
We have quite a few Apple-related graphics here. I debuted a lot of them on the show earlier today, but you can find them all on X or Twitter at TTV Research. That's TTV Research. And this one here and another one here are really inspired by those traditional Apple Mac colors. This is looking at Apple's revenue by operating segment starting in 2007, going all the way to 2023, which is the most recent full fiscal year that we have data for. So I think what's really interesting, there's a couple of things. You see the growth of the iPhone revenue over the years, but also accessories, including their very popular Apple Watch, and services really start to ratchet up later in the year as well. Like services revenue for 2021, 2022, 2023, I think is all really significant. Another significant thing here is that in 2020, you actually have a year-over-year increase in total revenue, which is even given the fact that there is the pandemic and different spending trends. So I find this Apple chart fascinating for a lot of reasons. If you're looking at it too, you could also see when certain products were added or discontinued from their lineup. So we get the iPad coming in 2010, and the iPod getting removed in 2014. So lots of different milestones here to look at on this chart. Check it out, guys.
Thank you, Darren, for that. We'll wait for that. I mean, I'm hoping it comes a little earlier than 4:30, but stay with us. If you're with us right now, stay with us, because we're going to drop that Apple news. Adair's going to, we're both, all three of us, that's why we're here, going to cover absolutely everything right there.
Have you looked at Visa, Sean? Big move up for Visa, Sean, through 350. Okay. Now we're up 4.5. Look at that. At last closing print, we're at 344, Sean. We're trading 351 now. The top wick there, around 352 and change. The market doesn't care. JD Vance, Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. The numbers speak for themselves. We're already up 4.25 and taking out a key level, $50 level. Good look right now for Visa, Sean.
As the SPY, again, has another big day. I mean, up another 0.5%. I mean, along with the NASDAQ. We do have, tomorrow we have core PCE coming through at 8:30 a.m. That should be another movement. There, join us live tomorrow. Today we had GDP estimates, 8:30, or no, sorry, on the economic data front, Traders Digested today, GDP as well at 8:30. Tomorrow, PCE coming through as well. The technology sector today was hit mainly by Microsoft. I mean, we could talk all about all of the names, but really, we're also going to wait for X. When X comes out, we'll have that for you. But Microsoft today down 6%. So realistically, the NASDAQ, the fact that Microsoft, I believe, is now the third largest holding in the NASDAQ as a percentage-wise, the fact that the NASDAQ still rallied today and was able to hold green, quite a nice movement there, but not great for Softy as that pulls back in on slightly less on Azure. They got 31% growth as opposed to 31.1. Absolutely unbelievable that was a negative spot for them. We'll wait to see what's going to happen there with X coming through now, and we're going to see a light.
There it is.
Yeah, slight revenue beat we're hearing on X, and if you have the earnings, we can go over there, because X is now out.
Here we go. So adjusted fourth quarter loss, EPS 13 cents a share. Q4 loss, $89 million. Keeping an eye. Here are the full results. Let's have a look. About net loss of $89 million or 39 cents per diluted share. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you can have a look. Fourth quarter 2024 adjusted net loss of $28 million or 13 cents per diluted share. Keeping an eye on that. Their EBITDA, Sean, 2024 adjusted EBITDA, $190 million on adjusted there. So we'll keep an eye out as more comes out from X. Moving up though, Sean, now we're at 0.14, taking out 37, a bit of a high there into 37.25. Good look right now for X. Not one that we expect to move too much after aftermarket. We'll have to see how this one trades.
You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Stock Blitz.
Hey.
That's what we're doing right now. I want to thank everybody in the chat. We see you guys. They're loving the combos here. Sharif, myself, Adara.
Hey.
Yesterday we had Neil here. We're just doing it all every single day. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe. Come back tomorrow. Come back the next day. Don't come back Saturday, though.
We're not going to
Oh,
be
no,
here.
come back Saturday. Rewatch. Come back on Saturday. So far, we'll just go back and forth a little bit here with some of these trades that we had today. Just looking again at NVIDIA. What a good end of the day run there on NVDA. I'm not sure. Whoa, we have a lot of executions on this play. All right, so here's the end of the day play on NVIDIA. Let's just zoom this back out. We waited for this. Oh, boy. I think I'm actually still in this position, maybe. But, okay, so there's an out. I was just holding a small piece. I think that's my out right there, actually, right at the close. But there it goes. NVIDIA breaking higher there at the end of the day. What I want to tell you is this. If you missed the show in the morning, you missed the show in the midday. You should never miss the midday show. But this trade was 2 o'clock. There's the break right there of pretty much... It's not the day high because we had that, but that 200 period break high right there, bang, and we hit that right at the end of the day. A nice move at the end of the day for NVIDIA, getting back from that deep seek bottom, basically, of 117 and 118. That's why I think it's very, very important that you zoom back out and find some of those levels. That's what gave us this banger on Tesla. Like, not only are Sharif and I doing these recaps, we're doing all this, but we are actively trading throughout the day. So that's the uniqueness about Trader TV Live. Not only are we passionate about the market, but we're passionate about giving you the information and the education required. So not only you can eat the fish, but you can also fish for said dinner as well. There it is right there. There's that take of 386. Remember we talked about that. If we can come over here, just real quick, on Tesla, we got stopped out right there, then we bought it back, and boom goes the dynamite on Tesla as we zoomed it out and found a support level after earnings, that 386. That was a good trade for us back in. Let's have a live...
10 minutes away, Sean, from Apple.
Oh,
right
man,
now. I think we do have a dinner with some infographics at the green screen.
Thank you so much there, guys. Yeah, we have Apple. I'm seeing expected here of 4:30 p.m. They usually do report pretty much on time there at 4:30 p.m. But this graphic here has to do with one of the biggest things here surrounding Apple, especially lately, which is China and the relationship in China, specifically with regards to smartphones. So what I wanted to do here is take a look at how their market share in China kind of changed from Q4 2023 to Q4 2024. So this data is all based on estimates from Canalys, which is a data research firm there. You can see Apple at a 24% market share in Q4 2023. Then for Q4 2024, we get a 16.8% market share. So that's a market decrease there in market share. By contrast, we had Vivo increasing its market share, Huawei, Xiaomi, Oppo, they all increased their market share. The others there, so these brands actually just like decrease in market share. But regardless, I think it's really interesting that Apple had a slighter decline in their smartphone market share in China, where all of their competitors actually had a year-over-year increase, and pretty significantly so. So AAPL, keep an eye on those China numbers when you hear that report in about 8 minutes now, guys. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Adara. And that's going to be so key because the market share, I think the iPhone 16 is going to sell maybe more than expected, but whatever I think doesn't really matter. The numbers are going to be what's there right now. The implied move is 4%. So I have our charts up right now. If Apple actually gets that drop down at the beginning of that tariff announcement, the whole market fell back in. But if we look at a daily chart here for Apple, and here's Apple, you can see nothing's moving around right now. We hold tight as we wait for AAPL earnings in 8 minutes. But if we only get a 4% move on $240, we're not talking about too much here. If we can go up $20 into 260, that would be an all-time high right there. But again, $20 on 240, you're looking at like 7%. So I'm not sure that's going to happen here today. But again, Sharif, what about if these numbers blow out?
But we missed last time, Sean. We dropped 1.3% last time when Apple reported. And guess what we did after that? We made all-time highs at 260. So Apple is not one that I expect to really rocket in the direction like Meta did in the aftermarket yesterday. So heavily traded, so connected in so many different industries. You really got to digest all this. And I want to hear what the new CFO, we know Luca Mastri's not there anymore, Sean. The new CFO is going to be there. We need to hear about how the tariffs are going to affect Apple, especially with Donald Trump wanting to throw another 10% on China.
What do we think about more talk about a flip phone?
I'm interested in that,
yeah.
Sean. I'm interested in a thinner phone as well.
I think we need more. If we go to the double shot here,
Yeah.
I think what we need more of is, we talked about it, like invention from Apple. They can't just follow the leader. We talked about them. Well, they are pretty much are the leader, but they're, flip phone's already there with Samsung, already there with Google.
Yep.
So we'll see if they could do that again. We know that they got rid of, and again, saving some expenses with their car.
Absolutely.
I mean, they dashed that. You know what I think could rally Apple here?
Let's hear it.
What about a big CapEx number? And I'll tell you why. Everyone's worried that they're a little bit behind this AI race, right? Where's their large language model? What are they building on top of? I mean, is Siri maybe
Horrible.
exactly?
Horrible, Sean.
I know. But what if now they're able to announce something with Gemini? We already saw, and we know that they're involved with Gemini a little bit.
Yep.
Can they introduce something into this? How much is it going to cost? What if they introduce something with DeepSeek or something like that, something similar to with
Like
Quen?
Microsoft did today.
Right,
announcing
exactly.
DeepSeek.
Exactly, and we know that Perplexity as well being built on top of that. So what we're going to be able to find out here is, can Apple control cost enough to make Siri worth it? And then maybe there's something there with Apple and some of their expenses, because they're the ones who haven't spent a whole lot on CapEx in this space.
And I said this to you before, I think one of the most underreported stories of 24 was the fact that we did not hear any association between Apple and NVIDIA. Every other Mag 7 name had an association with NVIDIA in some way, somehow. Picking up those H100s, picking up those H800s.
Oh.
Apple didn't. And we heard them picking up from the Trainium 2 from Amazon. We heard them picking up the Tensor processing unit from Google. Not a word was spoken about NVIDIA, Sean.
Right. Again, point on that, they're also building their own chips.
Very good point.
So what if all of a sudden they come out and it's like, okay, you know what? It could be bad for NVIDIA.
Good point.
But what if we're starting to build, we're starting to implement, and maybe we got a large language model of our own? We'll wait to see. I mean, I feel like a major company like Apple, it's kind of like a lot of people know things already.
Oh, yeah.
So with an implied move of just 4%, we'll have to wait to see where that goes from here. All right, with less than 5 minutes to go, let's just review just real quickly here as we go. Apple expected revenue estimate, $124.1 billion, EPS 2.36. So we're getting ready to rock and roll. I see I have an empty space right here. I'm going to put the chat right here so we can see that start to go crazy when Apple comes out. Let's take a quick live look right now at Intel. We do have revenue by region at the screen. Do we want to go to Adara for that? Let's go.
This is another graphic here, kind of similar to what we were just talking about with regards to Apple's China smartphone market share. This is just a look of all of Apple's revenue by each region that they count. So they count Europe, China, Japan, the rest of Asia, so not China and Japan, and then the Americas. So I think this is pretty interesting because we know we hear a lot of talk about China's iPhone sales declining for Apple, but their actual market share in the company here in terms of their revenue, regardless for the entire product scheme, is actually pretty strong. Like, that's the purple bit. We see pretty sustained revenue for Apple in China when you don't count just the smartphones. So I think that's an interesting look. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty clear. America's, Europe taking up a lot of this, Japan and the rest of Asia kind of fighting here. But I think the fact that China's non-smartphone revenue seems pretty strong is definitely of note. Also, here, are we going to get $400 billion for the fiscal year for Apple revenue? We'll have to wait and find out at the desk. Make sure to follow us at X at TTV Research and Trader TV Live. And like and subscribe if you're enjoying this awesome content ahead of Apple earnings, guys.
I know me and Sharif are going to go back. We're going to talk about some expected stuff. I just want to show the screen right now because we did have Intel earnings, and I mean, that was a big one for many traders. Unfortunately, it comes well short of the implied move of over 10%. Right now, just moving 1.6%. And actually, right now, Intel coming back in right now. I was saying you could go long against 20. That looks like that might get busted right now. Be a risk manager when earnings are out. Intel's not really moving around. And again, Intel and Apple, would there be some collaboration? I don't know, but that could be something as well. We'll check out to see if Apple's having any early moves, not yet. And just a quick look right now on Visa, because this is another one. I want to just thank everybody for the kind comments as we look at right there for everybody joining us here today. Thank you to Sharif for staying late. I got a dentist appointment at 5 p.m., so Apple better come out very, very soon. Although we'll stay as late as possible, man. The dentist is right next door.
Good. Yeah,
so
mine is right next door as well.
Yeah, so we'll be there. Maybe the same dentist. Okay, so here we go. Apple, we're getting ready for it. What are we expecting?
Here we're expecting, Sean, Q1 earnings. We're looking looking for $2.35 per share, which would be up from what they printed last year on the quarter, 218.
Okay.
Net income, Sean, we're expecting a 5% bump, about to $35.5 billion in take-home money. Revenue expected to grow about 4%, a little bit less than 4%, up to about $124.3 billion. Now, that's the good news. What's the bad news here? Well, we're expecting bad iPhone sales, Sean, especially iPhone revenue. We're expecting that to drop about 1.5% to about $70.7 billion. That's a drop from 6% from the same period last year.
Right.
So we're talking about quarter over quarter with that 1.5% look. Investors are obviously going to be closely watching the earnings call for AI. Any talk about that, especially in light of the competition with this
Aren't we in a super cycle? I mean, I thought, why are we supposed to lose 6% from last year's sales? Let's just wait to see what winds up happening here with Apple. We are now moments away. As I said, there is not going to be another show out there. And what we want everybody to do right now, because we have over 6,000 people watching, I want to hit this like button. Hit this like button. Let's get that going. If everybody watching, if we come to the screen right here, we'll show it. Hit that like button right there on your screen and get going on YouTube. Thank you, Ramin, as she stays late as well. So thank you to everybody right now as we get ready for breaking news with Apple. And thank you, everybody, for continuing to support it. We have the live
seconds.
Yeah, exactly. We have the live Benzinga Pro platform. Sharif is scouring the web for this. Adaro's excited, ready to go. We have graphics ready. We are ready to go with Apple earnings as once again, Trader TV Live steps up their game, and we're bringing the fire one more time for you. Here we go. Get ready to rock and roll, Sharif. This is kind of where we need that countdown, like that doomsday countdown, like it's Y2K. It's almost midnight. What's going to happen right now with Apple? I really hope that this does something. We are expected. Here we go, man.
Drop.
Do not disappoint. All right, here goes Apple. $2.40. We do have the numbers out right now for Apple. So as we watch, where is my mouse? I can't even find it anymore. There it goes right now, $240 for Apple. A nice move to the upside. We do have the Benzinga Pro platform. We'll get it. As soon as you hear it, give it to me. There goes Apple, 243 and change. Up 1.5% and still going. 244, 245. Go, Apple. Let them cook, Tim. Let them cook. Apple going to the upside. iPhone sales, 69.13 billion. Apple as well, 240 beats 236. Sales through the roof. It's a beat everywhere for Apple. I would say we called it, but right now, Apple's not really moving around too much. Sharif, what are these goods exactly?
All right, man, let's see exactly what we're doing here. So service business grew 13.9%. We know they have 80% gross margins on that. The lack of AI selling point contributed to the iPhone sales. They missed on that one, Sean. The street was looking for 7.71 billion. We got 69.14. Greater China sales dropped 18.51 billion compared with a 20.8 billion a year ago, below that 21.3 billion that the street was looking for. Total sales, though, Sean, an eye-watering 124.3 billion. That beats the street's expectation mildly. 124.12 was what we were looking for. Earnings per share beats. Profitability comes in good, $2.4 per share. The street was looking for 2.35. So good look right now, but it's dropping again, Sean. So zig and zag in here, dropping below the closing price.
All right. Yeah, service is really nice, man. 26.34 billion. So, you know, all these numbers, we're going to have to compare them, right? I mean, because they're just so huge year over year, month over month. There goes Apple right now, completely reversing course again. Like, it doesn't look like it wants to move too much, man. Apple was relatively flat on the day. We're going to see it right here, pretty flat again coming into that report. Looks like we wicked out there with the algos at 245. We also wicked down there at 235. So $10 up, $10 kind of that range, and we just guess where we sit right in the middle now with Apple. So make sure you do hit that like and the subscribe. And right now, Apple's just dancing. Let's see if there's anything happening anywhere else.
Stuff, Sean.
Okay, let's just see NVIDIA not moving around. So it's Apple right here. Sharif, what do we got for Apple on a relatively flat performance in the stock price?
Here's the deal, Sean. Mac sales, $8.9 billion in Macs. iPad sales, $8 billion. iPhone sales, we already mentioned, 69.13. Let's keep a look here. Wearables, 11.75. The services, this is the one that got my attention, 26.34 billion. I don't have comparators for those, Sean, but you know how Apple does. It really needs to take it in. We saw the same thing last time. When they reported, it zigged, and then the next coming days, we got those higher lows. We'll have to see how this one does tomorrow, but the data does look a little bit, medium. miss on iPhone sales, good on services, good on wearables. We'll have to see how this all ends up tomorrow as people digest the information, Sean.
If you remember yesterday, though, we had that huge drop off there in Tesla, only to come back the next morning to see it up 4%. We had that sort of a miss by Microsoft and that continuation move. Then we had Meta up and down yesterday as well. Both those names, actually all three of those names really kind of were a little bit light on the implied move. Microsoft continued through down that 6% today. Will Apple suffer a similar fate? I mean, right now it's kind of just doing this. I feel like we got to hear again. We'll wait for the call to happen. We'll hear what they have to say. I didn't hear you or Adara or anybody in my ear or anybody really talk too much about AI. No. So maybe there's something there that everyone's waiting for. But this is what a live level 2 looks like. It's not even really going crazy at all. The spread is pretty reasonable now, just 50 cents as they're trying to figure it all out. Pretty light on the volume. There's a big order there at 237.50 with 5,000. 337.75 with 5,000 shares, but other than that, pretty dull right there for Apple. And before I go back to you, Sharif, I just want to check the NASDAQ.
Yep.
So there it is, man. The whole market right now kind of sleeping on this report. And Intel, I honestly feel like this might be the one to trade tomorrow with Intel getting a little gas underneath it. Yeah. I feel like this break of 2050 is something on Intel. So I feel like that could be the trade tomorrow. And then quick look back on the king itself. NVIDIA not doing too much. And Apple right now just holding forward. What do you want to talk about?
Talk a little bit about, we're going to send it to Adara in a second to talk about Chinese market share, but this is very apropos. So if I can show the screen here, Ram, Apple America's net sales, 52 2/3 billion. That's up from 50.5 billion. Europe sales also in green, 33.86, up from 30.39. This is where it all falls south. The China sales have been the pressure, 18.51 billion, down from 20. It's one of the biggest markets in the world, and they missed there. Adara's at the green screen.
Thank you so much for that transition, Sharif, because I saw that on the CNBC screen, and I was going to open with that as well. Yes, so we have about a $2 billion plus decrease on a year-over-year basis for Apple's China sales. And you can really see here, this is Apple's China market share. So this is the decrease from Q4 2023 to Q4 2024. Yeah, that's an 11.1% year-over-year drop for their sales. But regardless here, what I think is really interesting about this graph is it shows that you have pretty significant market share increases for Vivo, Huawei, Xiaomi, and Oppo in terms of China smartphone market share. But then Apple decreases by 25% and other brands are dropping by 4%, despite the fact that the overall China market share actually increased by 5%. So what this says to me is that really we have consumers turning away from Apple and other Chinese brands and really pouring all of their money and energy into these four names. So I think that's really interesting. Also, I just saw a comment here from Tim Cook on CNBC that I want to address with regards to AI. He said that they found during Q4 2024 in markets where they had rolled out Apple Intelligence, the iPhones that did have Apple Intelligence, so iPhone 16s, did better than the iPhones that didn't. So I guess that's supposed to be a sign of Apple Intelligence getting picked up there due to their iPhone 16 sales. But that's all anecdotal comments from Tim Cook, guys. Back to you.
Talk there about AI at least, so we'll hear more about that tomorrow. Look, again, Sharif just mentioned about all the comments in the chat. Thank you so much for the support. I didn't get to hit something that I really like. We had built this a long time ago, so I'm going to hit it right now. It's breaking news.
Hey,
it's not really.
Good.
What happened? Ramin.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look how cool this graphic is.
Saw that?
I'll hit it again, Ramin. Yeah, it is too long, but that was pretty cool. So, how about this one then? Stock blitz. Okay, let's get more serious now, just quickly. Yep. All right, so Apple right there, the move down is what it is. We'll have to wait to see. It's a pretty muted play on Apple. Yep. But for me, that just means that tomorrow will give us some key levels. Like, what do you think I'm going to do tomorrow if we get to 240? Let's go. That should be a good trade there tomorrow. 240 break. I like that play. It's also trying to hold the bottom. If you hold the bottom there, you mean, again, we talk about it when there's nowhere to go, maybe we go this way. So we'll have to wait to see if we can hold 237, 238. We'll see about breaking 240. That's tomorrow. Join us live tomorrow as we go. We're not done yet. We still have roll call to talk about. We're going to do that. We want to thank everybody for staying with us. Over 5,300. But we're not done. Let's have a quick look at what Intel's doing. Nice move there on Intel. And one of the things that we do on the show, if you're just joining us for the first time, obviously today it's very, very busy with earnings, but let's just go over some really key things that happened today. Eli Lilly up 2.3%. We didn't talk about that much. Maybe there's a rebound in the healthcare technology space due to the fact that RFK maybe isn't as sort of like pessimistic or negative about science.
Yep.
Okay, Berkshire, what a move back up there as well. The financial sector today, everything green today. What is this? Blackstone red today, but everything else in the sector nicely done. Amazon up downside, but look what went upside. Walmart and Costco now. Tesla finishes the day up 3%, which is nice. Meta there, GE, Microsoft, Nvidia, Broadcom with a nice day today as well. So, all right, everybody.
Man, I want to mention a couple of things before we go. Guys, the Apple conference call starts at 5 o'clock. Make sure if you're invested in the name that you're listening to that. Lots of great information. Visa as well. Conference call starts 5 o'clock. Intel, likewise, 5 o'clock there. Let's keep a lookout here for the other names that are reporting. U.S. Steel does not have a conference call planned, so we will have to see exactly what they say tomorrow, Sean. But those conference calls can be awful important. A lot of information is going to be asked, especially with respect to Apple Intelligence. You have to make that assumption that they're going to press Tim Cook. When the hell are we going to get ChatGPT integration? You've been promising us that for over a year. WWDC last June was when we heard it. We're still yet to see it.
You know the thing about Siri is that the only thing I ever do is I ask it to call my wife. That's pretty much, and it works every time. But I don't ask it to do too much more than that. It's like literally Siri, like watch. Siri, call my wife. Right?
Come on, Siri.
Oh my God, my phone was locked. Hey Siri, call my wife. It's not working. Okay, all right, that was an epic fail. All right, anyways, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do right now is have a lot of fun, and we're going to do it right now with the roll call.
There we go.
I hope this doesn't really call my wife right now, but it's using me like I have my AirPods stuck
like,
in here.
what's going on?
All right, hey, look, thank you so much for joining. You know what Ozan said? Ozan, come on, man. I thought we were friends, man. Sean was young and beautiful in the breaking news. Well, with that being said, let's have it one more time.
Wow, come on.
Oh yeah, look at that young, handsome individual right there.
I think you've lost weight since that picture, man. I don't know what Ozan's
One more time. I'll look at this one more time. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Ozan, for that. But who's here? Let's do it. It's roll call time. We have it right now on the screen. Ramin, let's go here right now. We'll see who we have. When you're ready. There it is right there. Thank you, Ramin. There it is right there. Who's here? JM4323 is here. El Sol is here. Hugh is here. Small, short smeller.
Short smeller.
Not bad. Ronaldo Jose is here. Hey. Michael Mendoza, Bears vs. Bulls. We can't do that without him. Darth Buddha's here. Anybody catching your eye, Sharif?
I'll call some people out. My man Jay Lee's there in the chat. So is Andrew Chow. How about Valdishon? We got Mike. We got Lingering something or another. We got Why Not? How about Jay Singh, my man? There we go. Stock Up. Robert. Ronaldo. You already mentioned Ronaldo. We got T-Man. How about
Ronaldo
Crypto?
or Messi?
Messi.
Or somebody else.
Messi, Katina, man.
I keep hearing the same thing, man. Ever since he got to raise that World Cup there the last time. I think he's won everything. Did he win in the Prem?
Everything.
Did he win?
He's gotten everything. He's got Champions League. He's got La Liga. He's got the World Cup. He's got Copa America. What else can we ask for?
You know what else he's got? Yeah. Money, money, money. And
Clearly.
if you keep watching us, hopefully we'll be able to teach you, show you everything that we can here to invest safer, smarter, day trading. We've got the education on the midday with this guy. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got Adara breaking news here every single day. Apple 236, actually starting to get a little low.
Drop it, Sean.
Low.
25% dividend declared by Apple.
What?
25%, 25 cent dividend.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, if they increase their dividend, maybe 25%, but there goes Apple to the downside here. You know what I like to see? Actually share buybacks.
That'd be great. They have $150 billion earmarked for that.
The other thing about this, too, is you cannot buy back shares heading into your earnings release.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a quiet period there. So you're going to have to wait to see what effect that has on Apple. All right, for everybody here, thanks to Brendo, thanks to Ramin, Fabia today, Tomas, who's around, Andre back over there. Adair, oh my God, I forgot to film something with Andre today. Oh my God, we'll do that tomorrow. Thanks to Adara, Neil, Joe, this guy right here. All right, Sharif, we do this every day. I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
No.
This is a potato.
Hey.
And then these are French fries.
Oh.
All right, there it is. All right, see you. Thank you, Adara. Great job today as well. Thank you to everybody for joining Bears vs. Bulls. You the man. We're live tomorrow at 8:30, and we'll catch you then.